Welcome in, 365 Sports on your Friday. We've got a ton of stuff for you that we recorded yesterday at Big 12 Pro Day. We had to move things around so fast. Garrett, it was... we were playing three-card Monty waiting for Brett Yormark all day. And if you have not seen the interview that we did with Brett Yormark, go to YouTube and watch it now. I'm going to talk about it in a second. We're going to talk basketball first. But, Garrett, there's some bullet points in that thing that I think are very interesting that we can go through. Today on the show, tons of stuff on Big 12 Pro Day. The stuff that we had technical difficulties yesterday, you're going to see today. Sans technical difficulties. Unfortunately, we had to figure out those technical difficulties in the middle of the show while it was running because there was no way for us to hear it otherwise. Like we're hearing something different than you guys are hearing, so we have to do it kind of in a weird way. But now we solved that problem, and I hope it'll never happen again because most of the time it's a really simple thing.
Yes.
But we just don't know what that simple thing is or what switch has been flipped or, a software refresh happens in the middle of a show and we don't realize it. So, but you'll get to see all that. You'll get to see John Rice Plumlee and Isaac Rex and Phillip Brooks from yesterday. Also, Jared Wiley,
Ryan Montgomery. He
was really good.
Phillip Brooks.
Yeah, we said Phillip Brooks. Golly.
Emry
Jones.
Jason
Bean. Javon Baker.
Oh, he was good.
Javon Baker is really good, and he's a dude who bears keeping an eye on for sure. And like that, he's maybe, I think, and we didn't get to talk to TJ Tampa, but we'll get to talk to TJ Tampa next week. We had to bump him for Brett Yormark. Also, go back and watch Beanie Bishop. Again, if you have not seen Beanie Bishop,
so funny.
Go watch Beanie Bishop. He was hilarious from West Virginia. That was great. So we have all that today. We have Max Olson today. We have Ryan Andrade from rotowire.com. He's just brilliant when it comes to college basketball. That's a very long, we just talked to him. It's a long segment, so we could fit him in the show today. So much going on, but let's talk basketball real quick here. Garrett, last night, North Carolina goes bye-bye. Alabama beats them. I think part of that is just Hubert Davis is a really, really good coach. He is not too... And he's had really he's just knocking at the door. And I think that it'll be another tournament or two and another couple cycles, but he's going to win a title. I mean, again, he was as close as you could get before the largest comeback in NCAA and Final Four history to win a game just 2 years ago. But he's just kind of when you see who beats him in the tournament, it was Bill Self, one of the GOATs, and then you've got Nate Oates, who I think is kind of on that. They're kind of on that same ascendancy. So when you see these two coaches who are both getting really good at the same time, eventually, you're gonna probably, it's gonna not go your way. And I was surprised that North Carolina lost, but I'm not as surprised as I would be considering that Alabama has played really well down the stretch here.
No, it was a tremendous game. I mean, I don't think North Carolina expected Alabama to come out and match them shot for shot the way they were able to do, and Alabama just couldn't miss from beyond the arc. North Carolina is kind of weird. I hate it for Armando Bacot. I hate it for R.J. Davis because both of those guys came back. I think both of them probably could have gone to the league if they would have elected to. But it's kind of a situation where I look at it kind of like the Freddie Gillespie thing, where Freddie Gillespie was here at Baylor. He was part of that team. COVID derailed the season. They go on and win the national championship the next year, and he wasn't able to be a part of it. So I kind of feel for Armando Bacot and Davis in that manner because I really think North Carolina, under Hubert Davis, has the opportunity to win a national championship. It's just kind of bred into that DNA there. They're going to get the recruits. They're going to get everybody to click. But last night, man, Alabama was just a bad matchup for them. And I think it goes back to Bama just was matching North Carolina shot for shot. They were on, and it's just one of those nights where it was the Tides to lose, man. And hats off to Nate Oates. He's done a tremendous job building that program, and Alabama's on a trajectory right now that I don't ever think in my lifetime I expected to see Bama good at basketball. You can make the same case for Clemson. That's probably a one-off, but it's cool to see Bama doing what they're doing right now.
Hey, Bama and Clemson in the
crazy.
The Elite Eight.
That's football, man. What the hell?
That's been a national championship game in football. That's what that's supposed to be. Clemson controlled the game against Arizona pretty much the whole time. Yep. We were in the car on the way back, so we didn't get to. I have had to go back and watch that one, parsed it out this morning a little bit when I got up. But Clemson controlled that game the entire time. We could talk about UConn and San Diego State. I don't think San Diego State wants us to.
No.
I think they would find it in poor taste.
Well, I mean, it was cool, though. Like, regardless of the circumstance, like San Diego State, we talk about, like, UConn's on a different level. They're on a mission this year. They're on a different level. It's cool to have a rematch of the national championship. You know, you kind of feel for San Diego State that they weren't able to make it more of a game, but this UConn team is on a mission, and it's just – San Diego State was just the next one that got in their way on their way the path to a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the final two Big 12 teams goes down. They fought valiantly to come back, Iowa State did, and I thought for a second maybe they would. But Illinois was just too good. And that, like, when I think about the, two games last night that were evenly matched teams, Alabama and UNC was clearly more even than people would have thought. But just going in, I knew that Illinois, there was not much separation between Illinois and Iowa State. Like, as far as they're going to, and here's another advantage for UConn. I tweeted and posted this on Takes last night. And please go to the Takes app. It's super fun. You can make picks and all this stuff. That's just a plug for today. And please follow me, Paul Cadline, on Takes. And follow Garrett. He's on Takes as well.
We're there.
So anyway, but I was 1 for 4 last night in picking these games because I picked Arizona, I picked UConn, I picked UNC, and I picked Iowa State.
Dude, I was 1 for 3 too.
Yeah, I'm 1 for 4. Yeah, one. Yeah, so that that is how it is. But of course, again, I should probably Costanza this thing, and whatever my feeling is, I should just do the opposite. But whatever. And Iowa State. Falling to Illinois, but they were so close. Like, I just don't think there was much of a dividing line, and Illinois jumped out on them. Iowa State had a terrible offensive first half, and having to climb back all the way against a team like Illinois who's not great defensively but can score a little bit. That's always hard to come back on a team that, plays they had to play a defensive game last night, and they did, but they also had enough of a cushion to where Iowa State was going to be constantly behind the 8 ball from halftime on. And you could just kind of see it even when they built that momentum to get there. Excuse me. So, that is what it is. Big 12 down to Houston. Mm-hmm. That's the last hope for the best basketball conference. SEC still has a team in it. ACC.
SEC has 2, don't they? Bama and
Tennessee. And Tennessee. And then the Big Ten and the ACC is still dominating right now. Clemson's in. Of course, North Carolina's out, but NC State and Duke have a chance to pull upsets tonight and stay there. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Real quick, Brett Yormark yesterday. I would say the bullet points are this. They got the best deal that they could, he felt, on the college football playoff.
Correct.
I don't think he's happy about it, but it's the best deal that they could get. So he's comfortable being in that's the best deal they could get. He also is in position. He answered very diplomatically about the ACC and not in the same way he answered about the Pac-12.
Right.
Because I don't think that the ACC breaking up benefits a lot of people when you think about it in the long run.
No.
Like, it really doesn't. I don't think it's going to benefit, outside of financially, it's probably not going to benefit the teams that leave the conference to other places all that much either.
Their path is going to get, if Florida State and Clemson went to the Big Ten, the SEC, whatever, their path is going to be more difficult to get to a championship. So other than financial, it's not going to benefit them.
Which is why, I've always said, if I'm FSU, I want to go to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Because that's the easier jump to me than going to the SEC. Because in the SEC, you've got all these behemoths. In the Big Ten, you've got teams that you've clearly, Clemson and Florida State are clearly better than most of them. And that's not the case. They would join the SEC as elite teams.
They're on
obviously,
par.
But now they're on the level of everybody else, as opposed to you got Ohio State, Michigan. Honestly, Penn State wouldn't scare me if I'm Clemson and Florida State all that much. I mean, it's going to be a tough game, no doubt, but Iowa doesn't scare me. They don't scare me. Nebraska doesn't right now. Washington and Oregon they're going to be tough, but USC doesn't scare me as much, as they probably should. Washington and Oregon haven't done what they've done, so that's a non sequitur there, but he also said that if they're going to use that formula for football, then they damn better sure use it for basketball when that comes up again. Because if you're talking about who's contributed to the sport and contributed to the eyeballs on the sport and who's won the most championships, well, hello, Big 12 and ACC.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and I love that he said it. I love that he went out there and he, if you go back and listen, the way he talked about Jim Phillips, he does respect Jim Phillips. I think those two,
at least one of us does.
Yeah, at least one of y'all do. I think that but I think Brett Yormark. I think Brett Yormark and Jim Phillips understand the situation. They understand where they're at as the premier basketball conferences, and then he goes in and he talks about Sankey and everybody. Do they have the bigger picture of the landscape? In mind, do they care about where everything's going, or is it just individuality for their conferences? And he's like, well, I understand. I think they do have it, but they are trying to campaign rightfully so for their conferences. And I think they're taking that same approach, him and Jim Phillips are, and they're banking on basketball. And I love that he's going out there and saying, if you want to treat football with this same and you go off of the history and everything, then you better put some respect on our name because we run basketball.
Yeah, he was absolutely emphatic about that. And also he said, I don't think anybody's breaking away.
Exactly. Which was good to know.
Which means to me, they're in the room, and I'm sure it's been broached a little bit. And I think that Yormark and Phillips and them said, they probably stared him down a little bit on that one. Or when it was I don't think it's been discussed more than just the ominous threat out there. But it is good that, especially, Brett Yormark, the deal maker that he is in that room. I think that's good. But again, he kind of also said that, look, if this is what they're going to do, we're going to fight for the bigger picture. But if you're going to put that aside to fight for your league, I don't think I'm not going to do the same. So that's kind of how it was. When we come back, Ryan Andrade on last night's games and tonight's games and much more in college basketball from RotoWire. That's coming up next. This is 365 Sports.
PettyClinicLowT.com. I've discussed Dr. Kent Petty and what he could do with you if you battle low testosterone. If you are in your upper 30s and you start to let's say you're active, you have a pretty good diet, and yet you're starting to add a little body fat, for whatever reason. Part of that is age, but it could be your testosterone's dropping. And 1 out of every 3 to 4 men have symptomatic issues of low testosterone. Maybe you're not as focused. And listen, that's like me, 24/7 because of being a very attention deficit individual. But there's also things you could do for that. But that could be a part of low testosterone. Your energy just isn't the same. And it's not like you're sick. You just don't feel like you're full throttle. That happens. All of that and sex drive could be a part of low testosterone. Dr. Kent Petty can help you get blood work. He'll set that up. He'll take care of it. Get the results. And if your testosterone levels are too low, he can put you in a program to increase it, so that you could become the high-performance man you want to be, used to be, and need to be. And on top of that, he could also be your family doctor. For example, I went today and had my blood drawn. 5 vials of blood as they're trying to figure out this sunburn sensation I've shared with you, that today's been okay. It hasn't been as bad, but it's still there, trying to find out. He's trying to find out, and I appreciate him for trying to find out by getting that blood work. And I did that earlier this morning. Hopefully the results come back clear. And yet again, maybe just something that, that could be it, so we can solve the problem. Dr. Kent Petty, PettyClinicLowT.com.
Rev up your excitement. Celebrate the spirit of adventure during the Jeep Celebration event. Join us at Allen Samuels in Waco as we roll out incredible deals on rugged and reliable Jeep vehicles you love. Seize the moment and drive home in the new Jeep of your dreams. With special financing options and exclusive offers, there has never been a better time to explore the world of Jeep. Hurry in, the savings won't last long. Visit AllenSamuelsDCJ.com and see them firsthand only at Allen Samuels in Waco. Let your adventure begin.
Come by, let's be friends.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Parenting is full of surprises.
You never know what to expect.
So after our son was born, I called my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent to set up a life insurance policy in case something happened to me.
Sawyer is now 2.
And we'll soon have a sister. There's no one else I would trust with protecting my family.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Baylor alumni are more than 160,000 strong. When we all join hands to support our university, we don't just move the needle, we move mountains. Working together, we create life-changing opportunities for students on the field, in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in life for generations to come. So get connected, get involved. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
Let the journey to financial brilliance begin with Genco's limited time offers. Max your earnings with a Kasasa cash account and get paid monthly with a 4.25 APY. That's $425 annually. Then invest in a 13-month share certificate and earn 4.9 APY. That's $529. Earn cash and outshine the rest. At Genco, we offer you the sun and the moon. Kasasa based on average daily balance of $10,000. Certificate based on $10,000 investment. See GencoFCU.org for details. NCUA.
This is 365 Sports.
The 3 o'clock hour is sponsored by Waco Custom Marketplace. Meats, sweets, Texas treats, and a cut above the rest. 425 Lake Air Drive, Waco.
Ryan Andrade from RotoWire. This is a partnership we're doing, a collaboration, so to speak. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff with RotoWire. Ryan is the first guest because he is Mr. March Madness over there at RotoWire. And Ryan, before we get to tonight's games and everything that is going to happen there, last night UConn asserted their will. North Carolina, Arizona, both to me very surprisingly fell, given how well they've been playing. And then we had the battle of Illinois and Iowa State, which was close, especially towards the end. But Illinois, found a way to win. And your thoughts on last night and how that shakes up what maybe you thought was going to happen, or this thing has gone chalk for the most part. But last night, outside of UConn, was not chalk.
Yeah. Absolutely. I loved North Carolina. I had them, I did a couple different brackets and I had them in the Final Four in both of mine. I wasn't as surprised to see Arizona go down just because, given their history, man, I love Tommy Lloyd as a coach, but man, the last couple tournaments, it's been tough for them. And, but yeah, North Carolina, I mean, I definitely expect them to get, quite a ways, but Grant Nelson, I mean, how about that guy? I mean, he struggled the first 2 games. And honestly, I thought he was going to be better than he showed for much of the season. But man, the last 5 minutes, that guy absolutely took over.
What are your thoughts on Clemson? Their coach was very bullish about the ACC and how he felt they were underrated. I mean, he threw some darts at the Big 12. And this was a team that I watched them several times during the year. I went to FSU, so I'm an ACC guy. I remember watching FSU beat them and thinking, Clemson's not that good, because FSU was below average this year. And then here they are in the tournament staring at the Elite Eight. How have they been able to do this?
Yeah, man, it's been wildly impressive. I mean, they're great at every position, really, if you look at it. Their guards are experienced. They don't turn the ball over. They can get buckets in a lot of different ways, and especially when they lock in defensively, man, it's tough. It's interesting. I think a lot of people had the upset, the 6-11 upset with New Mexico coming in, just super hot, rated great in all the metrics and stuff. And I think that threw a lot of people's brackets out right away, was just how great that Clemson looked against New Mexico, and then Baylor. Baylor made a run late. Clemson had a few miscues down the stretch, but man, I mean, they were in control of this game against Arizona the whole way through. So, I mean, just wildly impressive. And yet again, I mean, it's the ACC the last few years. I mean, they're getting, people are saying, the conference is down. It's weak from top to bottom, and the last few years, there's always a couple ACC teams that make it to the Elite Eight. So it's been interesting to see.
Well, look, we cover Baylor here in Waco, and the 2 of the last 3 years, they've been eliminated by ACC teams. North Carolina in 22, and now Clemson in 24. So, they're I guess it's just the ACC regular season, and maybe it's because they did go to that, 20 game or whatever it was, conference schedule or more, where everybody else is playing 18, and their in-season records look a little worse because they're playing those extra conference games.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, you could certainly argue that. I don't think anybody's made the argument that, the very top of the ACC has been pretty solid. I think it's just all the way through when you compare it to, some of the other, your Big 12s, obviously, your SECs, even Big 10. I thought Big 10 wasn't quite as good this year as they've been the last few years. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about what happens in this tournament. And if you show up and you do good in this tournament, as unfair as that might be, it's a single game elimination. I don't think it's always the best measure of, which team is absolutely the best, but this is what counts.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said this, and I thought it was very appropriate for the tournament. To win the championship, you're going to have to win at least one game that doesn't go to your style. Houston did it against A&M last week, where they had to put up 100 points in overtime to win a game, and that's not what Kelvin Sampson normally does. Illinois did it last night by playing a little bit of better defense. Kind of on, like, Clemson has been way more efficient than they have all year, and not really one is sloppy. Each game keeps getting kind of better and better and better. Who do you think tonight has to win a game the way that they would not normally win it?
That's a good question. I think, it might actually be Tennessee. I think, a lot's been made of, Rick Barnes and his history in the tournament recently, but man, Creighton is, they're not, for as good of an offensive team as they are, they don't really push the ball. They sort of remind me a lot of, the good Jay Wright Villanova teams that were just didn't turn the ball over, didn't foul, just extremely clean. And really, we know Connect's special for Tennessee. We know that. But I think it's going to come down to those two guards, Ziegler, Vescovy. Vescovy's had just a off season from where he was the last couple seasons. And, a lot of that's been Connect coming over, and he hasn't been asked to do as much on the offensive end, but I really think Creighton's just, they're too good. They're too experienced to be able to hold them to, 50, 60 points like I think Rick Barnes would like to. So I think they're gonna have to get it going, and really I'll be watching the Tennessee guards to see if they start making a couple shots, get some easy hoops and things like that.
Well, Oregon, I think for a stretch there, thought they had Creighton right where they wanted them. And then once you got to overtime and the shots start falling, you can't, there's not many teams in the country, like maybe UConn can make shots at the clip that Creighton can make shots.
Right. I mean, UConn, I think, is the one team in the tournament that they don't care. They don't care what. I mean, we can grind it out. We can beat you 48-47, or we can, win 98-93. Like they just it's incredibly impressive to see the job that Dan Hurley has done this year, man. I mean, they brought back a few core pieces from last year's team, but they lost, I think, 5 of their top 8 scorers from last year, and really they look even better than they did last year. So it's man, they are just an absolute juggernaut, and really they remind me of the Florida teams back in the day.
Oh yeah,
the two that went back to back. Yeah, just super efficient offensively. They'll get up into you. They'll rebound the ball. Like just it's impressive to see.
Now that you said that, like it's all I can see. Like it's yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great comparison. Tonight, Houston and Duke. This is a good Duke team, but it's not a classic, Coach K Duke team just yet. Houston is going to I've seen them play twice in person this year here against Baylor in what was a fantastic game. And Kansas's best game of the year was against them in Lawrence. And even that game where that was their worst loss of the year outside of the Iowa State game in the tournament, Houston's just so efficient. They don't waste any second of the game. I mean, and I think is that what's going to make it tough for Duke, is that Houston they don't really turn the ball over, or when they do, it doesn't seem to be careless. Like you have to, if you're going to turn the ball over from Shed, like it's because you made a great play on him, not because he tried to do something risky. They're just so tough and so efficient and so gritty.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think I will be able to tell who's going to win the game based on the first 5 minutes of the game. Mm-hmm. Duke, obviously, very talented young team, but Houston, experienced physical team, much like the Tennessee team that Duke lost to in the second round last year. Mm-hmm. Just get up in you, intimidate you, beat you on the glass, create turnovers. If in that first 5 minutes, Duke comes out and they're taking care of the ball, they're being aggressive, getting to the rim, they're able to compete with them on the defensive glass, I think Duke's got a really, really good shot to pull the upset here. I thought Duke was maybe one of the couple most impressive teams in the first weekend. And they've just gotten better all year. All those freshmen are starting to get better. And yeah, I really think if they come out and they are responding to the pressure that Houston's putting on them, Houston might be knocked off.
Purdue felt to me like the team that was most on a mission in the first weekend. Gonzaga, kind of similar in that they had their worst regular season that they've had in years, and were out to prove that they're still Gonzaga. And Purdue was out to shake off, losing to a 16 seed last year. But Zach Edey is not just a big guy who lumbers around and you can't defend. He's an excellent passer. He does everything really well. Does Gonzaga have an answer for Zach Edey?
I've sort of thought this all year is I don't know how much of it is defending Zach Edey as much as it is taking away those other guards, right? Last year, those guards were all freshmen and they looked like freshmen, especially when we got later in the season. This year, they've been on a completely different level. Mm-hmm. So I think, Gonzaga doesn't have, your 7'2" big man that you'd like to throw against, a guy like Zach Edey or somebody like that. But, Anton Watson's a great defender. They can Ben Gregg, they can throw a few different bodies, a few different double teams at him. But I really think it's going to be the team that wins it is the team that's going to have the better backcourt. I think, Nembhard, Hickman, they need to make shots and play big time if Gonzaga is going to win this game. I think if they keep the pace fast, they tire Edey out going up and down the floor that fast. You never really know. I mean, this is, as you said, this is probably, who was talking about Gonzaga coming into this tournament?
Dylan.
The last few years, right? They've been one seeds, and they just have, great players. And this year, it's just everybody's sort of gone under the radar a little bit. But man, Mark Few, I think this is 8 or 9 straight Sweet 16s he's made it to, which, that consistency is, that's incredibly impressive. Say what you want about he's never won the big one, but getting to the second weekend it's always very impressive.
All right, last 2 questions. NC State has their hands full with Shaka Smart and Marquette tonight, but DJ Burns, the beefy ballerina that he is, he's so athletic for being so big, and he's just a matchup nightmare. I don't think teams that haven't played a guy like, I think that's part of the thing that has gotten them through the first couple, because who plays against a guy like DJ Burns? Like the Oliver Miller types are gone in college basketball. There's not guys like that anymore, and here he is out there doing that. Can Marquette be Marquette enough to where the magic ends for NC State?
Yeah, Marquette, I thought, was a little up and down the first weekend, which I don't think is a complete surprise, just given the fact that Kolek has been out for a few weeks here, and just trying to get his legs under him and get back in the flow of the offense with everybody. The thing about NC State is, it's not just Burns really down low. It's, you got DR, you got Middlebrooks. Both of them have given them great minutes on this sort of run that they've been on. And they got 3 guards who are all seniors, can all shoot the ball. They got a lot of different ways that, they can beat you. It's really a tough one. I think it's going to come down to if NC State is making enough shots like they have, since they've been on this run. And how crazy would it be to be in the Elite Eight and you say there's 2 ACC teams that made the Elite Eight and none of them are Duke or North Carolina? I think there's a real possibility that might happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Andrade from RotoWire.com joins us. We're doing a lot of stuff with RotoWire. Awesome. Like if you need fantasy stuff, all like the numbers, whatever broken down, RotoWire is great. Please visit their site. I use it for fantasy football and fantasy baseball all the time. And I should have probably used it before my bracket got absolutely shredded to pieces. But sometimes you do things in haste, Ryan, and you wind up regretting them. And that's what happened with my bracket this year. But last thing I'll ask you, who do you think is the best fit coaching hire that's been made here in this cycle?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard for me not to say DeVries just because,
he's a twofer.
Right, because you're getting not only the coach who I think has done a tremendous job with Drake over the last several seasons, but also you're bringing Tucker and his son, and I'm actually fascinated to watch how he transitions into the Big 12 next year to see how that is. West Virginia, listen, it's been kind of been a mess, right? Mm-hmm. For the last, really since the whole Bob Huggins situation last offseason. But, this season obviously didn't go how they wanted to, even though they had a great transfer class that they brought in. So I'm definitely going to watch that one. And we'll see what happens. The Big 12, it just keeps getting better. They got, Colorado in next year, Arizona next year, Utah, who's a solid team. So, man, it's conference realignment. You can say what you want about conference realignment, but I mean, I'm excited as just like a Big 12 fan for see some of these teams come in and compete.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch Arizona playing against Kansas. I mean, those things are just going to be amazing. Yeah, Arizona and Houston, Colorado and Baylor, like all these. Colorado and Baylor, back when they were in the conference together, both weren't really that good at the same time. So it'll be nice. Be nice to see that. I think I can't remember if they played them in the NCAA tournament in Albuquerque years ago, and that was maybe the last time that Baylor played Colorado. It's been so long. That they did. I know they were in the pod because they were in the hotel with us, but I can't remember exactly. But Ryan, this has been great stuff. Let's circle back again next week and talk Final Four. Rotowire.com. Go read Ryan's stuff. Go read all their stuff because again, had I read Ryan's stuff, say 10 days ago or so, maybe I wouldn't look like such an idiot with my bracket, which is now. Outside of Houston in the Final Four, which is still alive, I think it's completely shredded. I think it's completely done. I like an idiot picked UConn to lose to Auburn because I got. Do you do this when you watch like a conference tournament? I mean, you're more of an expert than I, but I got kind of enthralled with Auburn a little bit. I think a little bit too much because I liked the way they played through the SEC tournament.
Yeah. No, I was the same way. I was. Actually, believe it or not, most of the season I was a little skeptical on Auburn. Mm-hmm. Like they've had great metrics the whole year. They play so fast, they're so deep. But I mean, you also kind of had to look at it and be like, they sort of avoided the top teams in the SEC tournament, just by some of the upsets and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I actually was talking myself into Auburn a little bit, and I had a couple brackets where I did end up. I liked the matchup they had with UConn. I thought that would have been a really fun matchup. So I'm disappointed we didn't get to see that. San Diego State, I think, really overachieved, but I never thought that was going to be that close of a game. But yeah, I mean that's what happens every year, right? I mean, You can talk yourself into different teams, I
talked myself into them winning it. That's what I did.
Winning it all?
Yes, that's what I did.
Yeah,
that's the only time in my life that I've lost my champion on day one. Only time, I usually can get them through to the Sweet 16, but. Day one, we were in the studio and it was all I could do. It was all live in the air, not to just start screaming the F word. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Bruce, I mean, that was a crazy game. Yeah. That Yale game, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bruce, do you care about me at all? Gosh, selfish. Anyway, Ryan, thank you so much. We'll do it again next week. Talk to you soon.
IdealMRI.com in the Central Texas marketplace on the southern part of Waco on I-35. I have been in touch with them. I told you I went by last Monday, picked up an image of my lower back, an MRI from late 2022, and was able to take that to a back specialist up in Dallas so they would have that on hand. And even though they did x-rays, they could also have the MRI to then kind of form an opinion on how we will proceed to try to help me just kind of get through this gnawing pain that I have. Yeah, I'm beat up, man. I mean, I got this sunburn sensation. My lower back seems to have just really been bad for over a year. So getting better, being smarter, and also thank you to Ideal MRI because of the state-of-the-art technology MRI machine. $497 is how much the MRI cost every single time or less, because that's what they do. That is their mission statement, to help you find the pain or what creates the pain, muscle, ligament, etc. Or maybe if they're looking for something and, they can also eliminate that because it doesn't look like something's a problem. $497 every single time. They will also help you file the insurance. It doesn't take long to get an appointment, and yet they are also, when you walk in the door, ready for you. I don't think I've ever waited more than 15 or 20 minutes walking through the front door for an MRI, and I've had 3 of them there. It is convenient, it is efficient, it is affordable, and it's really good for you and your doctor at idealmri.com.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, diagnosing and treating all sports-related injuries, including concussions. These specialists also provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike, whether it's knee or shoulder pain, a wrist injury, orthopedic spine care, and even an arthritis and total joint clinic. Trust the doctors Baylor Athletics trust. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to get you back in the game.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your hometown grocery store with a full-service butcher shop and bakery. Hi, this is David Smoke. The butcher shop can take your customized orders for seafood, pork, and poultry and custom cut your favorite steaks from bacon wrap fillets, sirloin steaks, bone-in ribeyes, boneless ribeyes, and even prime rib. Cut specifically the way you want, the thickness that you want. They're all delicious. They have Norwegian salmon, mahi-mahi, catfish fillets, sliced ham or turkey, variety of cheese, and several options of sausage links, and even regular jalapeno or cheese snack sticks, fresh chicken breast or whole chickens, sliced bacon, pork chops, and ground beef, marinated beef or chicken fajitas, and always large briskets and tri-tip available, plus fresh vegetables. So the great product, customer service, and tradition continues at Waco Custom Marketplace, a full-service butcher shop and bakery, open Monday through Saturday. The Bauer family, Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or wacocustommarketplace.com.
This is 365 Sports. Text us at 254-339-1122. The text line is sponsored by Riverbend Liquor and Wine, with the most extensive variety of craft beer in Waco. A hidden gem on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street.
TCU tight end Jared Wiley, Temple High School, with us on 365 Sports. It's good to see you. Got your back, man. They set you guys up with some swag, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they definitely didn't. They weren't stingy with the gear here.
To be here and to be a part of this and get another chance to be seen by somebody, how much does this mean to the prospects?
It means a lot. A lot of guys that didn't get the combine invite, they basically got to run a version of the combine here. So, I was just happy with it. Just seeing all of the guys in the Big 12 just come out here and support each other. We do a lot of competing against each other. So to know that we all have one goal at the end of the day, and to come out here and support each other with it, I thought it was a really cool thing to see.
Jared, the tight end position continues to kind of morph into modern offenses, and you've played in a couple of good, fast offenses the last couple of years as you transition into the league. How do you think that that's helped you now that like a bunch of tight end stuff as you've rotated through at Texas and at TCU, like different offenses, different things?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is I've been in 5 different offenses since I got to college. So just having to learn a new offense every year and pick up on it as fast as possible, I'd say that's the biggest thing for me. It's been taught to me, a new offense has been taught to me 5 different ways, and I kind of figured out as a combination of all that stuff, what the best way I learn is. So I'm confident in that aspect of everything.
You mentioned the combine. I know it's just kind of like a bucket list thing for some guys. Go perform at the NFL Combine, get drafted, so on. What was that experience like for you, and what were you looking to show here today that you either didn't show there, or what did you want to show today?
Yeah, first of all, the Combine was a really big deal for me. I grew up watching, guys, go compete and break records and that. So, just to be on the same stage as they are, it really meant a lot for me. And as far as here, I knew that I only needed to test my one thing. It was my 5-10-5 shuttle. So, I wasn't not going to come and support the guys like I was saying earlier. That's a big deal to me. It's just, showing a lot of people that, hey, I'm in your corner. I know that we have never been on the same team. This might be my first time meeting you, but, I want to see everybody in the Big 12, go be great at the next level. So that was my main thing today is just being a really good teammate, so to speak, and just be here and supporting everybody that did it.
That might be the nicest thing we hear from anybody all day. I think that says who you are. I mean, you can talk about as a tight end, a football player, whatever. That's really pretty damn cool that you do that. And you say that. That's really good. That you come from good people.
Yeah, for sure. My mom and dad did a good job with me. Shout out to them for, putting a good head on my shoulders. Super blessed to have those two in my life.
So, Jared, you've got some guys from last year's team that a bunch of them in the NFL. How much have you been talking to those dudes about what do I expect? What's this process like? What little tips and tricks did you get from them?
I talk to them every day. I see D Winners and DD and Max at the facilities. Since they're in their off season right now, I see them every day. So, just having that resource and kind of just being I always say, like a fly on the wall. Just hearing how they talk about the league, hearing how they talk to each other, hearing how they talk to themselves. They've done a really good job of just being there whenever I needed them to be there. And I appreciate those guys so much for, what they've done for me. Like I said, I talk to them every day, and just super blessed to have people like that in my corner.
How much have there been conversations with teams, like invites, things like that, going visits? Do you have some of that stuff lined up, and just what's that process been like?
Yeah, it's definitely been it feels like you're in recruitment again.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I bet.
I've had a lot of Zoom calls, and the month of April will be pretty busy with me with visits. So just excited to venture out and see all these different places and being able to talk to, as many people as I can. And just knowing that this is one step closer that's necessary for me to get my foot in the door in the NFL. And then once you do that, then you can kick that door down and you can go be the best player that you could be.
Coach Dykes is here, other parts of staff here. What does that mean to you, and how much do you still try to maybe continue to pick his brain a little bit too?
Oh, all the time. He's been doing this. Coach Dykes has been doing this a long time. And he's not afraid to tell you the truth either, and that's why I appreciate him so much. Now, if I ask him something, I know that it's coming from a meaningful place in his heart, and he respects me, and he has enough love for me and all of his players that he's not going to lie to you about something, no matter how hard it is to hear it. So just being able to talk to him has been really nice.
You played here, right here in this backyard, but. So how did they set you guys up? Did you stay at the Omni? Did you just come in from where you were living in the Fort Worth area? How much of did the Big 12 take care of you guys the last couple of days?
Oh, they did a good job, a great job taking care of us. Like you said, Frisco to Fort Worth, it's like 50 minutes or something like that. But they still got us all hotel rooms. They have mine. A lot of us are. They got it until Saturday just in case we wanted to sit here and support, all the guys that are going if we had teammates here or whatever. So big shout out to the Big 12. The food's been phenomenal here. I don't know if there's a better hotel that you could stay at than the Omni, right, that's attached to, this big indoor arena. So, it's been a really pleasant kind of, I wouldn't say surprise, but it's been a really pleasant experience for myself.
All right, so you and Quentin, both Temple guys, both about to be catching passes in the NFL simultaneously. If I were to stand here and get one of these QBs and throw each of you 100 balls, who has more drops, you or Quentin?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd say we're both going 100 for 100.
Okay, that's a true friend right there.
I got a lot of confidence in myself, and I got even more confidence in him.
That's that blue front, white back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott Stewart would be proud.
Yeah, exactly.
He would be proud.
So, Jared, you guys had the great run to the national title game, lost a lot of talent, obviously, and last year was a bit tough probably adjusting to all of that. Just how did you deal with that, having such high success, and then kind of getting back down to earth a little bit in terms of results? And what do you feel about the future? A lot of young guys playing last year, Josh Hoover getting thrown into the fire. What is TCU going to look like moving forward?
First of all, I wouldn't say that we lost a lot of talent. I would put the team that we had last year up against any team. I think we lost a lot of leadership, and that's kind of where we fell through the cracks last year, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I mean they're going to be great moving forward. Now that everybody on that team has that 5-7 feeling, you want to get it out as soon as possible, and I think that's what made the national championship team that great. Was that all of us came from losing programs, whether you were from TCU or at Texas, we didn't win as much as we should have, and then we went 5-7 the last year I was there. Josh Noon was at ULM. They didn't win a game, I don't think. So you got guys like us, and then Johnny Hodges, who came from Navy, they didn't win. So you had a lot of guys that were tired of losing and tired of that feeling. And once you get tired of that, then you have guys that are willing to literally do anything to win. And that's what we had. That's what we had that 2022 season. And I think that a little bit of complacency kind of snuck its way in a little bit for last year's team. We thought that we were better than what we were. And, that's on my fault. That's on, the leaders of that team's fault. There's nobody else to blame for that because, you got young guys that they don't know any better. But I've been on the losing side of things. I know what losing teams look like. And, just from that aspect of it, just from the maturity standpoint of it and the leadership standpoint of it, we didn't do enough as leaders and as older guys on the team to put those younger guys in places that they could be successful in. So, I blame myself for that.
It's great to always talk to you. We've had you on many times,
Yes,
from even when you were in Austin or also at TCU. Proud of what you've done and who you are, too. And good luck going forward.
Thank you. Appreciate you for your time.
Jared Wiley played at Temple High School and then at UT, and then, of course, had a heck of a career at TCU. He's here in Frisco with us, and this is 365 Sports. Phillip Brooks, Kansas State, wide receiver, return specialist with us on 365 Sports at Big 12 Pro Days in Frisco. What's this been like today? What's the experience been like for you? And do you like this setting with what they've done?
It's a great opportunity as far as being in front of all these scouts. You don't get that at a traditional pro day. So, and then seeing the players and the people you competed against, I think that was good, catching up with them and networking with them and just talking with them and stuff like that. It was a long day. Been here since 5:30, but I think once we get another year, a couple more years on this, it'll get rolling smooth. So first time jitters for everything.
Phillip, yesterday was big news for a guy like you who's a kick returner, right? With the kickoff return rule changing, did that make you excited about, okay, now like my value has maybe even gone up a little bit more?
No, absolutely. It's a blessing. I was just talking with other guys down there. So much has happened since I've been in college for 6 years. My true freshman year, was the first year that freshmen could play 4 games and keep their red shirt. COVID happened, so you had an extra year. NILs happened, and different teams are moving in and out of the conference, and now we have the Big 12 Combine, and then the kickoff rules. So it's a lot of change going on. I believe that my adaptability makes me understand, and I think I'll be okay. But when I heard the news, it was absolutely a blessing to see because it helps guys like me that return and things like that. So I'm excited.
Have you seen what that looks like, the new return rules? Have you seen the examples of that out there?
Yeah, so I was looking at it a little bit. I'm gonna have to study a little bit more, but yeah, they got to kick it in bounds. They're starting 5 yards apart, and the 10-yard drop. If they kick it out of bounds or in the end zone, he started on the 35. it's a lot. It's a lot. I'll have to study a little bit more.
So there's a short ramp up for the guys to run. So I guess there's not the all the way down the field full speed running. I mean, you have to be kind of a madman to want to return, anyways, because it's such a crazy position to be in. But does that give you better peace of mind? Or they're trying to make it safer? Does that make you feel good as a return guy?
Yeah, absolutely. Because returning is not easy. Not everybody can do it. And kickoff, especially, there's a lot of guys that get that full speed run and I call them crashed out. So really just making the game more entertaining for the fans, I believe, and giving guys like me more opportunities to play the game. So
I don't know of any college in America that produces wide receivers or defensive backs and return specialists the history of Kansas State.
Absolutely.
How much did that play a role in what you wanted to do and why K-State?
It's actually funny you say that because when I went to K-State, I didn't know too much about K-State. I didn't really play special teams in high school like that. And then when I got there, they from day one, we special teams you. And so I adopted that ideology they had, and you could just see it in the games. Like we're returning kicks, multiple kicks a year, consistently, consecutive years, multiple returners scoring, and it's really dynamic. Like the ability to get that third phase to affect the game like that. So, once I adopted that process, I went all in for it and worked on the craft and study with the guys and made me appreciate specialists a lot more. So it was a blessing.
So Chris Kleiman, we've had him on the show a few times. He's a very interesting guy to me. He has a nice duality where I can tell he's probably a hard ass on you, but also he has a very compassionate side to him. What's it like playing for him?
He's a 100% player's coach. Mm-hmm. He wants to know what we think, what works best for us. What we see during practice, the games, film, he's very interactive, but he does have a seriousness where he's getting business done. So I love Coach Kleiman. He gave me an opportunity. I was a walk-on at Kansas State, and they gave me a scholarship, and I'm very appreciative for that. But I love Coach Kleiman. He's a great guy, players coach. And you don't see that often, especially with I was the last group with Snyder, so it was definitely a big change as far as the coaching styles for me.
What do you think the future holds for Avery Johnson? You get to see him up close and personal. I know you play with Will Howard a lot, but there's a lot of buzz about this young man. And we got to see him last year and how dynamic he can be. I mean, how good can he be? What have you seen, and what do you expect from him?
Yeah, well, what I've noticed with Avery, man, he has potential out the roof. So he got to keep working on the game. But as you can see, he running, he's very dynamic. Throwing, he's connecting with the guys that are there, and it's gonna be dangerous. We need to be on the lookout for him, And he's not afraid of the star status that he has. He's very confident in his ability. And he's gonna create some damage this next year and these following years. So, and he was just a true freshman. So, It's only the beginning.
So I mentioned Will. What do you think about Ohio State and the opportunity that he has there? I know K-State would love to see him finish at K-State, but it just is what it is in this landscape nowadays. What do you think of the opportunity with the Buckeyes for Will Howard?
It's a great opportunity. Ohio State has a lot of talent, and he can really share the ball. That's his game, sharing the ball. And I feel like it was with Avery Johnson being at Kansas State. He kind of conflicted, like he was playing and things like that. So I think he's doing what's best for him as far as trying to make it to the next level. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see how they do this year.
Our good friend Max Olson of The Athletic joins us now. And Max, yesterday we were at Big 12 Pro Day. We spoke to Brett Yormark for about a half hour. It was really, really super interesting stuff. Every time you talk to him, you kind of find out new things about how things work or how it went down in the in the college football playoff discussions. And one of the things he said, which I thought was very interesting, was, they feel they're in the best spot they can be with the money distribution on the playoff deal, even though obviously the ACC and Big 12 did not like that, we're basing it on history. But he said, look, if you're going to do that for football, don't think when basketball comes up that we're not going to push that same agenda in the Big 12 and ACC for basketball.
Yeah, 100%. I think that Brett Yormark's been pretty consistent since he started this job, that when he looked at trying to differentiate in the Big 12, basketball is a huge piece of that. And that's not just because of his background of working in pro basketball as long as he did, but knowing that is like the big advantage the Big 12 has over the rest. And he felt that way even before they added Arizona, right? So, I think that, I think when you hear him sort of speculate about can these things be split off and basketball is sold separately and stuff like that, I think it's because he understands to maximize the Big 12's value, you want that advantage to be treated, with significance by the TV networks and stuff. So, yeah, I think that the way, I think Brett Yormark, while the whole college football world kind of looks at this as here's what the SEC and the Big Ten are getting, and now it's becoming unfair and stuff like that, I think he has to look at like, okay, this is the hand he was dealt. Obviously, he's come into a league that's added 8 schools since, but it's about like how do we maximize what we can get now and continue to try to improve this over time, which is why they did a little bit of a shorter TV deal to have another bite of the apple. And I think it's interesting for a guy like him. The Big 12 was smart to hire a businessman when they did, because that is what this is all turning into.
Yeah, it very much is. He mentioned the look-in in 2028. That was the thing that he fought for the most, he said, was like, okay, look, if we're going to agree with this, and then just to kind of move things along, well, we need to have a look-in in 2028 so that, if – and that's the thing I think it's funny about the SEC mostly. The Big Ten is just able to ride their gigantic universities in this because they don't have the same argument the SEC has in the historical contribution to the college football playoff, because Ohio State's won one and then it's been other conferences since then. But the historical thing only lasts so long. Now, the SEC has a great shot at keeping that going because of the programs that they've brought in, but there are cycles throughout college football where one conference is better than the rest, and then it ends after, coaching changes, things, people start changing their philosophies and moves on. Looking at it in 2028, yes, it's likely the SEC is going to still have their same stranglehold, but what if UCF and Kansas State and Utah and like all these teams continue to be good and win in the playoff? Like, they're contributing then, aren't they?
No, for sure. And I think that, 100%. When you think back to when Urban Meyer went to Ohio State in 2012, certainly the rest of the Big Ten did not feel like they were anywhere close to the SEC. So it takes being very intentional for a long period of time to try to catch up to a league, and not just in terms of product, but reputation, And so I think, the one line I always remember from Bob Bowlesby that I think is like 100% right nowadays is that, you eat what you kill. And I think that's going to be the situation for the Big 12, that especially with an expanded playoff, the Big 12 members and the Big 12 champion and their best teams that they put forward, they will be the ones that help kind of set the narrative on, is the Big 12 keeping up or not? If you go win playoff games, if you host playoff games and win them, and, have teams like TCU did that make a run, or like Texas, could have last year, then that changes how everybody talks about you, right? So I think I think you're right about that, and I think certainly when you take Oklahoma and Texas out of the Big 12, there's more parity for everybody in terms of, hey, our veteran team has a chance to go win playoff games and stuff like that. So I think that's right, and I think Yormark is right to fight for a look in at that point in time, because I think we all know that I don't think any of us have like a date that we can circle on the calendar as to like when the ACC stuff comes to a head. But I think we all know there will be another round of this down the road. And at that point in time, the Big 12, the SEC and the Big 10 probably all end up being beneficiaries if that comes to pass. And then you're talking about a very different setup again. You know what I mean? So I think the way that, we can talk about playoff formats and what makes sense for the future, what's for the good of the sport and stuff. But obviously the realignment stuff keeps going, and those things are always kind of, intertangled.
Max, to the ACC thing, Clemson's in this now. It just, and there's been no mention of this yet, but it feels like North Carolina, NC State, and some others may not be far behind. As like it seems like every time like a little benchmark is cleared for Florida State and their lawsuit, like that kind of happened. The TV deal happened, Clemson got in. Like every time something like one little thing happens, another team may say, okay, well, this is the time for us to jump in now. Is there a reasonable path forward for the ACC where they are not obliterated?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I mean, I think that this one way more so than the Pac-12 and the Big 12 realignment kind of shakeups that we saw. I mean, this one is so tied up in courts and lawsuits. So I think that kind of sets the schedule and agenda for this way more than we've seen from other realignment phases. But I do think I think you're right. It does feel notable that Clemson is jumping into the fray here because they could kind of, in terms of challenging the grant of rights and going to all this trouble and all this very expensive trouble, Clemson could have just sat back and let Florida State be the first one through the wall that gets bloodied on this, right? And kind of see how this all plays out. So it sort of hints that Clemson must feel like they've got a shot here to go through all this trouble. And I think it was a surprise to Jim Phillips and the ACC that Clemson filed the suit. And so, the fact that they're willing to do this and invite all the headaches and all the problems that come with this kind of suggests that they must feel like there's a path to getting out of this earlier than obviously 2036. So, long way to go on that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think that when you have that shakiness at the top of a few of them very clearly trying to explore their options, I think it forces every AD, as we saw in the Big 12, when the Big 12's gone through this, like every other AD in the league has to say, okay, what do I need to be doing right now?
Max, Big 12 Pro Day was yesterday. It was a really cool event. Like it was very, for a Brett Yormark event, this one was very no frills, and, we know Media Day is going to be in Vegas, which will have plenty of frills.
There'll be some frills. Yeah. There'll be some frills with that.
Yeah. There'll be plenty of frills. But it was a cool event. It's going to be bigger next year, I think. They're going to, now that they know how to functionally do it. And also just for guys that didn't get invited to the combine, and there's some talented, quick dudes in the Big 12 who didn't get to do that. I think it was a great event. Your thoughts on them hosting it and some of the guys that you think might fly under the radar a little bit that maybe now with this look that they've had might jump up the boards or at least the interest of NFL teams a little bit.
Yeah, I wrote about the origin of Big 12 Pro Day earlier this week on The Athletic, and this is something that Brett Yormark actually was pitching. Back when he was trying to get the job, he saw this as just because of the way he looks at things, because he doesn't, he's not a college athletics insider when he was, pursuing this job. I think he looks at things from the standpoint of like, well, why don't they do that? Why can't we do that? And so, in talking to people and reporting that story, I think there was a lot of like curiosity about like, even from talking to people at member schools of just like, yeah, we'll see, can they pull this off? Is this a good idea? Is this an upgrade from on campus? And so, I think it's a tough thing to like. You got a lot of people you have to please when it comes to the NFL side with agents and GMs and everybody, and scouts obviously, and then is it the best opportunity for the players and stuff? But I think it's a good idea and one that when I talked to Sonny Dykes in the story, he pointed out that when you take like the position groups for example. Whenever you have a chance to go, match up against the people who were at the combine or people that have a chance to get drafted, if you have a great performance, that gives you a better chance of being drafted. So to make that kind of one-stop shopping for the NFL and give those guys hopefully a better look, I think it's a big thing. And you look at the Big 12. If the Big 12 can, if that can have an impact in terms of the number of draft picks the Big 12 has at the end of the draft. I think that's really important in terms of perception, in terms of the way that recruits and players look at the conference. And, look, there's some great players that have come through the Big 12 and haven't been drafted and have had success in the NFL, like Ivan Pace from Cincinnati going to the Vikings or Jaylen Warren going to the Steelers. I think can those kinds of guys who are maybe on the fringe, can they get a nice boost from the exposure in Frisco? Very interested to see how it plays out on draft weekend, but, I think it's a positive step.
Sonny Dykes was there yesterday, timing his grandson in the 40, and 7 years old, ran a 6.5. So, but which he said is not bad for a 7-year-old. I don't know. I've never combined children. So
could that kid have beat me in 40? It's possible.
Oh, I'm sure he would beat me. I mean, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not out here doing that. Okay, Max, I'm
not in combine shape at the moment, Paul. I'm not.
Now, what is your? I mean, obviously, spring football's going on. You've got to keep your finger on the pulse of all that. But is it more that, or waiting for what most of us predict is going to be an unprecedented second transfer portal, given the I wouldn't say rules changes, the rules eliminations that essentially happened by the U.S. government?
Yeah, I think that, I'm not sure that this will be, you think back a year ago, and there were a couple quarterbacks, Peyton Thorne going to Auburn, Casey Thompson leaving Nebraska. There were a couple QBs that made moves last year, but it wasn't a bunch of very prominent guys. And I'm not sure there will be a ton of QB movement a couple weeks from now when the portal opens again. I could be wrong. I think there are some teams that you look at and say, are they happy with what they've got, or are they going to go try and get somebody? But I do think that this, I just think this will be kind of tampering palooza, as it always is, because there are just going to be teams that say, hey, coming out of spring ball, we've got a hole here. And I think when you've got a 12-team playoff, there's just more teams that are going to say, we're pretty close. If we add a couple pieces here, maybe we can win our league, or maybe we can get to a conference title game and make that playoff, and that's going to make a big difference. So, obviously last year we saw some huge impact guys, like a Keon Coleman going to Florida State, or Michigan added a starting cornerback, Josh Wallace from UMass. I think there are going to be those kinds of players that hit the market. And the fact that people can transfer as many times as they want, it just means that anybody can kind of be on the table here. So, yeah, that's definitely what I'm keeping my eye on more, in terms of, will there be some big moves here, and who ends up being the beneficiary there.
Max Olson of The Athletic. Max, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again soon.
Hey, always a pleasure. Thanks, Paul.
Right. Max Olson, The Athletic, with us here on 365 Sports. More from Big 12 Pro Day when we come back. This is 365 Sports.
Waco Custom Marketplace, full-service butcher shop and a full-service bakery. Fresh baked bread, fresh baked kolaches every single day. Also, the butcher shop with beef, pork, poultry, and also seafood. They got a lobster tank. They have a couple of tubs where you have tri-tip and brisket. And then now that live crawfish is there, live crawfish, I'm talking 30-pound sacks of live crawfish for a crawfish boil. Oh, man, you can order anytime. What is it today? It's not quite closed today. They close their shop up at 6. You can order 30-pound sacks of live crawfish up until 6 o'clock today. Pick it up anytime after 4 o'clock on Saturday, or while they're open on anytime after 4 o'clock Friday, or while they're open on Saturday. Brian Bauer and the Bauer family. Waco Custom Marketplace, 30-pound sacks of live crawfish available, and all of what you need for a crawfish boil. The little baby potatoes, corn on the cob, shrimp, sausage, and more, and the seasonings, the Cajun seasonings and spices at 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Cars priced right, both day and night. Average your car in Texas. Trucks built for you, red, white, and blue. Average your car in Texas. Cars that zoom with lots of room. Average your car in Texas. Count on us, a dealer to trust. Average your car in Waco, Texas.
Established in 2007 and independently owned, Alliance Bank Central Texas is committed to helping families and businesses meet their financial goals. From their tellers to their board of directors, they know the importance of superior service and competitive products. Customers have confidence knowing that their financial needs are in good hands. It's your bank, Alliance Bank Central Texas, with 2 Waco locations, 4721 Bosque Boulevard and 191 Archway Drive on Highway 84, and at AllianceBankTexas.com. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Developed by Startup Waco, a nonprofit organization, GXG is a program designed to support the entrepreneurial development of Baylor University student-athletes through NIL activations. The program helps student-athletes maximize their platforms and offers a comprehensive support system for them to create and grow new businesses that not only benefit themselves, but also uplift the local economy. Fans who wish to support student-athletes can donate to GXG via the GXG NIL Fund, BaylorBears.com/GXG. Contributions to support NIL activations through GXG can be made at BaylorBears.com/GXG. For more information, follow @GXG_GreenXGold on social media and visit the official website www.gxg.startupwaco.com. GXG, empowering student-athlete entrepreneurship and uplifting the local economy through NIL activations.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine now has 2 locations to serve you. The original on Lakeshore Drive in North 19th Street and the brand new spot in downtown Waco at 600 Franklin Avenue. If you're looking for the best in craft beers or local Texas bourbons, then the original is the place to be. And for the latest trends and online phenomenons, head downtown to the Franklin location. Either way, you're going to get the same great variety, customer service, and speedy experience. Check out both locations on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, Lakeshore Drive at North 19th Street, and now downtown on Franklin Avenue.
This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com.
The 4 o'clock hour is sponsored by Boozer's Jewelers, the wedding ring store, specializing in custom jewelry and repair, all in-house.
Now here's David Smoke, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoke.
Emry Jones at Big 12 Pro Days here in Frisco on 365 Sports. This is new. This is unique. Pro Days are always like on the Cincinnati campus or when you were at Florida, wherever it would be. What was this experience like for you?
I think it was a great experience. You know, this is obviously the first one. And I mean, I think it's just amazing to, go out here and compete. And actually, like it felt like most of these guys were my teammates today. You know what I mean? We all got the same goal. We all here for the same reason. So it's like we all cheering each other on. You know what I mean? But I mean, just being here, competing with the guys that we played against throughout the season, and coming here, having those conversations about some wins and losses. Some things that happened in the game, and I mean, just an experience to just bring everybody here out of the conference and just come out here and compete in front of all the scouts. I think it's amazing.
Emry, you are kind of the model of the modern college athlete because you had to find what fit for you, right? Because you were at Florida, and then you had to go to Arizona State, and then you wound up at Cincinnati. It's more common to see guys like you now that go to 3 schools. For people who don't understand that journey, especially as a quarterback in the most competitive position in sports, what was that like for you, and how difficult was it, and what did you learn after all that?
It was tough for me, honestly, man. I was at Florida for 4 years. I put in 4 hard years of work. I ended up starting my last year. I feel like I played pretty good. But just some things didn't. We weren't on the same page as a university, and so I just felt like I had to make the best decision for me to have a chance at the next level. And just going throughout that process right there, just leaving Florida, just knowing that I came in with my guys, with my class, putting in that much work, though. It was so hard for me to, step away from it. And that's something I struggled with for a while. But, I found a new place at Arizona State, got there. I felt like I felt comfortable there. You know what I mean? I feel like I had everything, coaching-wise, coaching support that I needed around me. And Coach Herman ended up getting fired third game of the season. So, that was just kind of tough. Another break for me. That was tough, went through that season and we got another new coach. So, I just, and that was my 5th year. I was going into my 6th, and it just wasn't, we didn't connect either. It wasn't the same type playing style that I really was looking for. And So I found a great home at Cincinnati. You know, I really love the coaching staff there. You know, I love the guys. You know, I brought some of my guys from Florida actually with me to transfer there, and you know, I really felt good there. I really felt confident in myself and our team. You know, things didn't go the way that we all expected, but you know, it was a fun experience for me. But the process in general, you know, it was tough. But you know, I just learned to stay positive. You know, trust God honestly, and just trusting the process and knowing that everything happens for a reason. And you know, just going through all that and meeting all the people that I met, all the relationships that I built. You know, they always stick with me, and I learned a lot from it.
Do you feel like they're on the right track, Cincinnati football now? I mean, obviously the first year in the Big 12 had some ups and downs, but do you think that that's going to be a positive learning experience and that they're going to, you know, be the same that they were in another conference previously?
Yeah, definitely. So I think last year, just coming from a group of 5, a conference, you know, that's a big jump. For me, you know, I kind of played against that talent before. There was a couple guys who transferred in, who played at the SEC level and at a bigger conference. But I definitely think they're on the road to, you know, being great, and they're definitely going to be competitive in that league. You know, I think guys kind of figured out like what you need to do and how you need to prepare to be able to go out there and perform week in and week out against that type of competition. So I think they're going to be fine.
Emry, who are you as far as a person, a player, and what have you learned about yourself during this journey?
For me, man, I learned about myself that, you know, I feel like I've experienced every negative thing from football. So I just feel like my best ball is ahead of me. You know, there's nothing that can break me. I've been through a lot of adverse situations that I feel like a lot of people would have broken. So, you know, just realizing and understanding that, you know, like I feel like I can go through anything, I can deal with anything, any situation that happens on the football field, you know. But that also translate into life, you know what I mean? Just the way that I just go about life and just treat people with kindness and with respect everywhere you go. With everything you do, and I mean that's just how I learned to operate now, you know what I mean? So.
Okay, so there's a debate among fans of every conference about which one's better, which one's tougher, which one's this. You've played in 3 of the big boys, in the SEC, in the Big 12, and in the Pac-12. And obviously the Pac-12 is done now. Yeah. But based on your experience, is there really that much of a gap between leagues?
It's just different.
It's just different?
They say the SEC is just different. And it really is, though. You know, guys you're playing against every single week, you know, those guys, those starters on that team, they're on NFL teams. You know what I mean? Like all of them, most of them, are on NFL teams. So, just playing against that competition and, like, the level of preparation, like, I really had to learn that there. And, I think it stuck with me throughout this whole process. And, like, that was a really great experience for me. I love playing against that competition. You know, I feel like it upped my level of play. And the SEC, I say it's the best. It's the best conference.
It just means more, right?
It just means more.
and like you said, week in and week out, even though the Big 12 is very competitive. Love your story. Love how you look at life and how you've dealt with adversity. Don't ever stop doing that because it's part of life, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate your time.
Yes,
Emry Jones, Cincinnati, Arizona State, and Florida with us on 365 Sports. We are back at NFL Pro Day inside the Ford Center, Cowboys facility. This is 365 Sports. UCF wide receiver Javon Baker joins us on the show. What is this experience, and what's it been like for you?
It's been great. You know, like the guys like me, I guess you could say underrated, but like to show teams and show the scouts what I can really do.
You say underrated. There's a lot of buzz around your name, like moving up, and people are starting to watch some of that game film that you had. What do you feel like you can show here in this that people may have missed about you?
My route running. They know I can run routes, but they don't know how efficient I am with route running. So that's just like to show them what I can do, and I'm efficient at it, and I can get out of a break 3 to 4 steps easily.
What was last year like just in terms of the transition to the league and just getting kind of used to new opponents and things of that nature?
At the end of the day, it's football. Like, it's still 11 men on offense, 11 on defense. So at the end of the day, it's football. And where I came from, Bama, it wouldn't be no like it's not no step down or no step up. It's just football at the end of the day. Everybody good once you hit the D1 level, and especially the Big 12, everybody good. So, like, it's just a good opportunity to play against good talent every week.
Did you have any particular place that you went or team that you played where it was just maybe something kind of cool about it?
First, bounce house. It's cool every week.
You're right, yeah. A little homer pick, but that's cool, though.
With them fans, like, bro, you don't know what to expect. Like, they may do some crazy stuff. Like, it's just like, wow, he really just did that.
I was there this year. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, sir.
What's it like not knowing who your future is, but knowing there's a future?
I don't know. Like, it's nice where I be like, I look good in this team. And then it'd be like, damn, they ain't even interested. But, like, they kind of play the game, too, like everybody else do. They trying to act like they ain't interested in you. But at the end of the day, I'm going to get that call.
Yeah, because there's guys who have been drafted and not really ever heard from that team because they're trying to bluff maybe others of whether they're interested because everyone seems to keep up with each other.
Yeah, that's the thing with me, though. Like, I got a lot of, like, friends and family that's in the league. So they try to tell me, like, just keep it even. Like, don't get too high, don't get too low. Just keep working.
Yeah, because you've got visits coming up, right, of places, and then so you have to, like, temper your expectations of, like, going in, like, oh, my God, I can't believe I could be here, and then it could be somewhere that you've never even thought about going,
exactly,
right?
Sure.
That's weird. So are you enjoying the process? Is this fun?
Yes, sir. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. Like, just say, like, oh, yeah, I'm an NFL player now. Like, that's fun. It's fun to just say.
So there's a lot going on in college football right now. You started off at Alabama, end up at UCF. You hear so much about the transfer portal in general. Can you speak to how it benefited you as a player? Because we get so caught up in that. They're moving around too much and all that. But how did it work out for Javon Baker?
Honestly, like, Coach Malzahn, he recruited me out of high school. Like, he was, like, one of my first offers for real at Auburn. And, like, through that situation, I realized, like, who to trust and who not to trust. It'd be coaches there to say, like, hey, yeah, I'm going to keep in contact. But after I committed to Bama, I ain't hear from him. So, like, with that, Coach Malzahn text my dad, call my dad every other day, and like that right there is real love to me. And like he never lied to me, so like that right there was just a bona fide move. And then at the same time, Kobe Hudson, my best friend, I grew up with him. He was there before me, so he was just like, yeah, we need to go ahead and team up. And that right there just made a bona fide decision.
So you didn't even need Coach Malzahn at that point.
You guys built momentum last year, but there could have been even more success there with Coach Malzahn and what they learned. We discussed that earlier. What do you see as the ceiling, the high ceiling for UCF, and how much higher can it be now that they've kind of learned the ropes that first year?
Honestly, they did good in that transfer portal this year, and they got some dogs, I heard, and I'm finna go up there Saturday to see what they really about. And I feel like the ceiling is high for UCF. Like, if they don't win the Big 12 this year, they'll win it in a couple years.
Okay.
Like, that's without a doubt. So, like, it's just high. And it's like, it's a recruiting place. Like, it's in Orlando, Florida. Like, who wouldn't want to go to Orlando? Like, it's just a recruiting pitch and everything, like, with just UCF, period.
Who ran faster today, you or Plumlee?
Me. I was just joking with him down there. I'm like, I'm faster than you in the 40, right?
Does it make it more comfortable that you're catching passes from him in this setting?
Yes, sir. It's more comfortable, but at the end of the day, like, this is my first time throwing him with, like, months, and we still got the rapport still. Like, that goes to show, like, me and him, like, as soon as I touched that campus at UCF, we was guys the first day. So it's like, that's going to be my brother forever.
What's it like to just be out here? Typically you'd have your own pro day on campus. Big 12's doing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Do you like this, being around a bunch of other guys? Just kind of what's the experience been like?
Honestly, it could be a win-win situation, but, like, at the end of the day, I want to see how I compare to other guys that they think is better than me, and I feel like, just me personally, they're not better than me, so I just got to show them.
You guys had some success, obviously, but there were a couple of gut-wrenching losses, and Baylor was one of them.
Yeah.
That got away.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the game with Oklahoma, too. You guys had them in trouble.
Yeah.
Do you remember the great wins, or do you remember the ones that got away?
Honestly, I remember the losses. I hate losing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, something about me just, like, losing, period, just do something to me. Like, honestly, like, we're just losing, like, it just stuck on my mind, like, the whole week. So it's like, I gotta, like, next week I gotta like punish him.
Are you competitive in everything else you do, and what other hobbies, games, etc. do you compete with your teammates or friends you know or others?
Yeah, I'm competitive in everything. Like at UCF, used to like have a ping pong tournament, like demolish them, like they couldn't even touch me. But John Rice, like he good at everything, so I don't even want to play John Rice. None of that. This man is good at everything. Like I promise you, everything. Like great at like just like being with him. Like that ups my level of competitiveness too, because I know I can't beat him, but I'm finna try to beat him though.
So are you the kind of guy like, okay, you lose at ping pong? Do you go back when there's not a ping pong tournament and like work on it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh man,
like when nobody looking, like I gotta get better at this. Like, yeah, I hate losing in front of everybody. Like
that's gonna serve you well in your life.
For sure.
Javon, we got a lot of UCF fans that watch this. What would be your message to UCF fans? Just your experience. I mean, you kind of already touched on the bounce house was a crazy place to play, but what was the support like when you were in Orlando?
Yeah, support was crazy at UCF. Like, it'd be half of the times I can't even walk to class. Like, sometimes they're just, oh, you Javon Baker, yeah. Like, you want to take a picture? Like, yeah. But some people don't really know, like the type of person I am. I seem like a little shy and laid off, but, like, once you get to know me, I'm a perfect person. Like, you'll smile every minute that I'm with you.
Not that quiet, huh?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you are being shy at all.
Yeah.
You came in right off the top, which is good because in the interview process with teams, they want to see that not cocky or arrogant, but confident.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy the journey, man.
Yes, sir.
This is good. Good luck. I know you got a visits with a lot of still people to go. You got a month from now, I guess it is.
Yes, sir.
And then you're going to go.
Yes, sir.
Your name's going to be selected. And
yes, sir.
Have you thought about that moment, no matter who it is, with the whatever choice of whatever round, Javon Baker X?
Yeah, I thought about it, and I kind of tell, like, my partners and my friends, like, yeah, I'm not even finna cry. I'm just finna just go ahead and work, but I don't really know how my emotions gonna be that day.
You're going to cry. You're going to cry. No, you're going to cry.
I don't know how my emotions gonna
Just
be.
here's what to do. You got to keep it together, like just enough, and then when the camera's off you, then you can then you can
just go to my room or something, call my folks.
Yeah. Here's what you do. When they say, so and so drafts you, you're like, damn right.
Yeah.
And then when the camera gets off, you can have your emotions.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Javon Baker, UCF wide receiver here at Pro Day, Big 12 Pro Day, and this is 365 Sports.
365 Sports here at Big 12 Pro Day. Ryan Montgomery, running back, Cincinnati. I was watching you out there, man, and I watched you during the season. You're a train. You're difficult to bring down. You're low to the ground. What's this process been like, and being able to be able to show out for people who maybe haven't seen you or have overlooked you guys, you and some other guys?
Yeah, it's been an awesome process. I just got done training in Austin, Texas, with a former PT from University of Cincinnati, so we got down there and got that connection. So it's been a good process, especially being in Texas and just making an hour trip up here for Pro Day. It's been awesome. And then, as a player, every drill we did today was things I was prepared for, and I feel like I got to really show that I'm a Swiss Army knife and I can do everything on the field and play all 4 downs.
So, you got to go out there and run some routes and all of that. How much of do you think sometimes, like, when you get, like, you're at these pro days, people have kind of a perception of what you do, and then you get to show, like, oh, no, I'll run this route, I'll run that route, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I was saying, I felt like it was a good day for me to show that I can catch the ball out of the backfield, out of the slot, in any of those positions out there. And also lucked out today to have my quarterback this past year throw the ball to me.
Yeah.
So
we had him on earlier. He was awesome. Yeah.
And he threw a lot of great balls to me and all the guys. So that was an awesome opportunity for me. But yeah, just being able to show that I can run all the routes at a good speed and break out of those cuts and be explosive with it.
Did you feel good about all your times and everything?
Yeah, I didn't get to see all my times yet.
Yeah.
But I felt like personally the way that I did the rep was good, like I prepared for it. I felt like I probably PR'd and everything I did today as far as when I started training in January. So I was really proud of that.
So do you know, like, again, nobody's asking me to run a 40 unless they're going to get a good laugh. But, like, do you kind of know, since you've been doing this, like, can you feel it like, oh, that was a good one?
Yeah, especially the 40-yard dash, your 10-yard start is when you really know.
Yeah.
So if you get a good get out and when you pop up and you see you're already at 20 yards, you kind of felt like you floated, you know, you were rolling. So, just like I said, training for 3 months since January and getting those mental cues kind of give you that confidence to roll the rest of the way.
The only way I know I float is if I'm in the ocean. So, yeah, when you say floated, that to me is I'm always asking guys, like, what does it feel like when you are going fast?
Yeah.
Because it's not like – it is something that's unique, right? Like where you're – like if you're in the open field and you're – like nobody's around you, is there a moment where you're like, oh, crap, am I really in the open field?
Yeah. And, it's even a bigger I guess, blessing when you're at a stadium that has the big screen. You can look up and kind of really verify that information. You feel like you're getting out, and you look up and see that there's probably no one behind you. That's a really good feeling.
Yeah. Okay, so Cincinnati, first year in the Big 12. I know it didn't go the way that you guys wanted it to, but there were a lot of positive things you saw there. And Coach Satterfield is a proven track record as a coach. How do you feel the future of the Bearcats is?
Yeah, like you said, it was a big transition year, but we feel like we left it in a better place because there was a lot of leading that had to happen in that first year. We felt like we left the guys there with a good opportunity and a good precedent to continue to lead. Coach Satterfield and the rest of the staff are going to get them guys right. We felt like we had the keys. Some things were just missing here and there, and that's what we learned the Big 12 was. You can't make those little mistakes here and there. Some games come down to 4 plays, and a lot of times those 4 plays didn't go our way. But I know those guys. I've been talking to a few of them. Still really good friends with a lot of people that are there, but they're ready to go.
The running back position last year was the thing of like, oh, well, we're going to not pay as much. We're not going to do this. How do you feel as a running back? Do you have more of a chip on your shoulder to prove, like as a group of like, hey, for 100 years in the NFL, we were very important. Then all of a sudden you think we're not?
Absolutely. I'm going to paraphrase Saquon Barkley. I'm a big podcast guy. I like to read and stuff like that. He was on Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce's podcast recently, and he was just kind of like, it's up to us to make that market what it is. So I know a lot of the guys in the league right now are kind of having that chip on their shoulder, like if we want to be paid what we feel like we're worth, then it's up to us to go out and get it.
Yeah. That's a great podcast, by the way.
Absolutely.
The Kelce brothers. And look, you are now connected to it because they're both Cincinnati Bearcats.
Absolutely.
How cool is that to, like, just from afar of, like, seeing, like, what those guys have done from your university? I mean, heck, one of them willed himself into being Taylor Swift's boyfriend this year. So just by asking, honestly, and putting it out in the universe. But they're really great ambassadors for the University of Cincinnati, right? And it's kind of cool to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Every time they get in a room with that CPAW on, it's just a lot of pride that flows through me. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Taylor Swift. My girlfriend's behind us, actually, so she's excited about the opportunity to potentially be in the same room as her. Big fan. But, yeah, those guys are awesome. Their podcast is awesome. Everything they've done, the way they represent University of Cincinnati is the right way. And I know everybody that wears that CPAW is proud of the way they do it.
All right. So would you do a podcast?
Me? There's a lot of people doing podcasts right now.
Well, I mean,
a lot of good ones.
You kind of have to have one.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good opportunity to, put yourself in a position of power. If you have a voice to voice what you believe in, it's definitely a good platform. I haven't thought into it entirely. I'm trying to make this thing work right now, but like you said, the Kelce brothers figured out how to make it work while they're still playing, so maybe it's in my future.
What are your, like, okay, you the Kelce brothers podcast, which is, what's it called?
New Heights.
New Heights.
Yeah.
You have New Heights podcast. What else do you like?
I really like the pivot. I think Ryan Clark is exceptional. I love watching him and the way he speaks about the game and just different things in general. Another one I like to watch is, I can't remember what it's called. It's Matt Barnes, basketball. I'm a basketball guy, so I like watching him and Stephen Jackson. So that's probably my top 3 that I watch the most.
Okay, and then this one will be a 4th.
Yeah,
36
I absolutely. I don't have a 4th, so here it is.
That's how I just just kind of slide us in there.
Absolutely.
Are you enjoying the process? Has this been fun?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a different opportunity. Probably my favorite thing is I can't remember his name, but the guy that starts the 40s does the exact for the combine. So getting to talk to him and pick his brain a little bit last night. He was with the Steelers for a long time. So hearing about Antonio Brown as a player and Troy Polamalu and kind of just picking his brain is something you wouldn't get at a pro day back at your school. So just being around people that are there, especially the scouts and stuff, talking to them and kind of getting an idea of what it's going to be like at that next level has been an awesome opportunity. All
right, so Ryan Montgomery, 4 down back.
Yes, sir.
4 down. And then we're not a 3 down back anymore because we go for it on 4th
now. And special teams.
And special teams.
Absolutely.
Special teams, catching the ball. Yes, returning kicks, have you thought about that?
Yeah,
do you do that?
I returned punts my whole career at Cincinnati. And also return kicks every now and then. So that's definitely something that's in my repertoire, and I look forward to getting me on the field in the league.
I think the new way that the kickoffs are doing it's a lot of value for a lot of guys.
Absolutely, especially
but
our
also
position.
for running backs because now you're kind of doing
Pass
what you
protection.
do. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
all the time anyway, right?
Yeah, so that's a big pitch. Seeing that rule is telling these NFL teams that, in my career at Cincinnati, I was a returner a lot, so I didn't get as many opportunities to do kickoff and kickoff return. So knowing now that you're 5 yards away, that's pass protection for a running back. So we excel in that area, and I think that we add a lot of value to that new rule.
Especially with, if you've seen the way that they did in the XFL, like the plays that they ran off it were super fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm normally not nuts about NFL rule changes. Like they're usually like lame.
Yeah.
This one's kind of fun, right?
Yeah, it has the opportunity to bring back the kickoff. That's
Yeah.
such an explosive play already. So I'm excited about it.
They very rarely do things that make it cooler for you guys. So I do think this is an awesome
Yeah.
one, especially in creating an opportunity for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How many teams
keeps safe.
Yeah, and how many teams maybe don't kick a kick returner or don't want to do it because they're like, well, what's the point?
Yeah, and a lot of kickers kick the ball to the end zone, so there's no opportunity. So I think it's going to change that aspect of the game a little bit.
Ryan Montgomery, running back, University of Cincinnati. Buddy, so nice to meet you.
You too, absolutely.
Great to be on your now fourth favorite podcast, 365 Sports. But Ryan, thank you so much. Best of luck to you. And look, I hope that your girlfriend gets to meet Taylor Swift.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot. Ryan Montgomery, University of Cincinnati. This is 365 Sports.
Thank you.
This is 365 Sports.
Alan Samuels, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat, entering the last week of the Jeep Celebration event with unbelievable deals like a 2023 Jeep Compass Trailhawk for $29,990, a 2023 Jeep Renegade. This is at Alan Samuels in Waco for $25,714. How about the most decorated SUV ever, a 2023 Grand Cherokee Summit with over 13,000 off MSRP. That's right, a 2023 Grand Cherokee Summit with over 13,000 off MSRP. The latest addition to the Dodge family, the 2023 Dodge Hornet GT, loaded up $37,525, all prices plus tax, title, and license. Ted Teague, the CEO and general manager, he and his staff put together amazing values along with dealership brands as well. You have an opportunity to get the vehicle you want right now. Alan Samuels, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat, Loop 340 and east of 84 in Waco. Samantha Duvall, TexasBeefHouse.com with me, David Smoke. And tell you what, you guys keep rolling along. You do have yet another date, correct, for an online and live auction?
Yes, our next online and live auction will be Thursday, April 25th.
We've discussed how this has been unique and how people have reacted to it. Has that momentum continued as you've done more?
Yes, it's kind of half and half. We'll have a good amount of people there that are from the area, and then we have probably 40% that we ship out. And everybody that I've delivered locally to has talked about how much fun they had, and they want to know when the next one's going to be. We've gotten great feedback from the people that we've shipped to. They're all just so excited about this event, and they can't wait for the next one to happen.
Premium grade East Texas beef. Customers don't have to go out and buy their beef. TexasBeefHouse.com. From their family and their ranch to your plate. TexasBeefHouse.com.
Automatic Chef Canteen is a full-service micro-market vending and office coffee provider with state-of-the-art vending equipment, a wide variety of products, and offering custom-fitted micro-market vending office coffee solutions for your employee break room. You want a full break room solution and a workplace oasis? Well, Automatic Chef Canteen, locally owned and operated for over 50 years in Central Texas, also includes in-house mechanics on call 24/7 for fast, reliable service and maintenance. Automatic Chef Canteen, 6900 Imperial Drive in Waco, or online at automaticchefcanteen.com.
Our good friend Brad Boozer, Boozer's Jewelers here at 365 Sports. Now, Brad, people who watch and listen to our show know I'm a double-time customer for you, engagement ring and wedding band, and you guys do that great, but that's not all you do at Boozer's Jewelers.
Absolutely. And I always like to say, it's a new year. It's a great way to start the year out. Go through your old jewelry. Go through your wife's jewelry box. Go through anything you're maybe not wearing, something that's broken, something that you're not using. We do a massive amount of custom work. We can take your old jewelry, old diamonds, old watches, and we can convert it into something special for you and make a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry. And if that's not something you're interested in, a great thing is we can turn that into cash. So we buy gold, we buy diamonds, we'll buy Rolex watches, any kind of heirloom jewelry, anything that's maybe passed down to you.
Boozer's Jewelers, where do they find you, Brad?
We're at 1025 North Valley Mills Drive, right on the corner of Lake Air Drive and Valley Mills with the big clock on the corner.
This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Enjoying the show? Hit the like button and subscribe.
Richard Carr, Buick GMC Cadillac, they are the people that you can count on. They're the people that I've counted on. They're the people that thousands of Central Texans and buyers from beyond have counted on over the last 20-plus years. That's right. They are celebrating 25 years right now at Richard Carr Motors during the month of March. It's the big savings extravaganza and celebration as they've got great deals on both new and pre-owned vehicles. They've also got the tremendous customer service, and they've got a little madness for you when it comes to the month of March, as you can get a 65-inch 4K TV with any car or truck purchase during their anniversary sales event. That's right. Still got a bunch of tournament games upcoming. Got Major League Baseball season starting up. Got a lot still in the world of sports that's on the horizon. So if you want to take full advantage and have a better look at the games on television, get that 65-inch 4K TV with a car or truck purchase during the 25-year celebration over at Richard Carr. And maybe that new car or truck is a Buick SUV. They've got amazing value right now on Buick SUVs. Drive one today, feel the quiet luxury, see the versatile space, and watch how Buick delivers uncommon luxury at a common price. Come and experience a Buick test drive today, and you can save thousands on a new Buick Envision model. Plus, qualified buyers can get 0.9% financing, and military and first responders also save an additional $500 plus 65-inch 4K TV with a car or truck purchase, as I mentioned at the top of this read. So take advantage right now of all the great deals going on with new vehicles here in the month of March, like the Buick Envision SUV. And if you're looking to go pre-owned, they've got plenty of a variety of vehicles and options for you when it comes to pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs as well. Big savings on over 90 highly inspected used vehicles. 100% credit approval, of course, is always the goal, and they say yes when others say no. So take advantage of the great deals going on during this birthday celebration. For 25 years in Central Texas, Richard Carr's built a reputation as the people you can count on for your automotive needs. Run by proud Central Texans. Log on to richardcarr.com today. Call now or go see them now off Highway 6 at the Imperial exit.
It was broad daylight. I stepped into a gas station for 5 minutes to grab a snack, and just like that, my car was broken into. They made out like a bandit. My laptop, my phone, everything. I called my agent to see what could be done, and he restored my faith in humanity. My claim was processed so quickly, and I was able to recover my losses.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Thank you for calling your local Marco's Pizza. We're turning up the heat with our new Reaper Cheesy Bread. Fresh, house-made dough is topped with a spicy cheese blend infused with jalapeno, habanero, and Carolina Reaper peppers. At only $5.99, this limited-time product is a hot deal. Add it to your order while you can. A Marco's team member will be with you shortly.
Marco's Pizza. Pizza lovers get it, and that offer on the Reaper Cheesy Bread is available right now at any of the 5 Marco's Pizza locations in Waco, including Belmead, China Spring, Robinson, Woodway, and Hewitt. Order online at marcos.com. Call for a pickup or delivery. Marco's Pizza is turning up the heat with their all-new Reaper Cheesy Bread with fresh, hot, house-made dough topped with a spicy cheese blend infused with jalapeno, habanero, and Carolina Reaper peppers, and only $5.99 and for a limited time only. Marco's Pizza, the fastest-growing pizza brand in America, 5 locations in Waco, and the new Reaper Cheesy Bread. Marco's Pizza. Pizza lovers get it.
Established in 2007 and independently owned, Alliance Bank Central Texas is committed to helping families and businesses meet their financial goals. From their tellers to their board of directors, they know the importance of superior service and competitive products. Customers have confidence knowing that their financial needs are in good hands. It's your bank, Alliance Bank Central Texas, with 2 Waco locations, 4721 Bosque Boulevard and 191 Archway Drive on Highway 84, and at AllianceBankTexas.com. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Stepping into a new pair of boots is great, but stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can also add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. There are more than 150 occupational specialties to help them find the best fit for their future. See all the things your son or daughter can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
This is 365 Sports.
The Sikkim 365 app is brought to you by Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine, Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street, and now in downtown Waco. It is springtime. Spring has officially sprung. That means springtime beers in their wonderful selection of craft beer. So go on down there, check them out, see what's new, see what you haven't tried yet. There's always something new there. They're always churning the roster of the beers there, and this is the time to do that. Or, they always still have the best selection of locally craft bourbons in the area. You cannot beat that. If it's made in Texas and it's bourbon, it is at Riverbend Liquor and Wine. Lakeshore Drive at North 19th Street and now in downtown Waco.
Cars priced right, day and night. Average your car in Texas. Trucks built for you, red, white, and blue. Average your car in Texas. Cars that zoom with lots of room. Average your car in Texas. Count on us, a dealer to trust. Average your car in Waco, Texas.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Ben Erlinson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Ben Erlinson, 100 North 6th Street in Waco, 254-759-8533. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Petty Clinic Men's Healthcare in Woodway is now proud to offer you men an exceptional weight management body sculpting product called semaglutide, also known as Ozempic or Wegovy. Semaglutide is an FDA-approved weight management medication. Once-a-week injections of this powerful medication offers an average body fat weight loss of 20% within the first year of treatment. In addition to body sculpting, semaglutide also normalizes blood sugars and has the clinical research proof of reducing blood pressure, cholesterol, stroke, and heart attack risk. If you're like most men and you have stubborn fat that will just not respond to typical diets and exercise, then help is finally here. Semaglutide, affordable, highly effective. Google search Petty Clinic Waco and reach out to the Petty Clinic team today for a free consultation with Dr. Petty to see if semaglutide is right for you. Go to pettycliniclowt.com.
Pizza, burgers, and Bears football. There's no place around Waco that serves them all other than Bubba's 33. Come show your green and gold and enjoy some of Waco's best food and beverages while watching your favorite team, the Bears. When real Bears fans get hungry, Bubba's 33 is the #1 spot for ice-cold drinks, hand-stretched, stone-baked pizzas, and bacon-infused burgers. Join us for indoor or patio dining. Bubba's 33, Waco's restaurant and proud supporter of Baylor Bears football. Sick 'em, Bears.
This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com.
The 5 o'clock hour is sponsored by Edward Jones Investments with financial advisor Ben Erlinson, who'll navigate you through today's financial climate. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Now here's David Smoke, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoke.
We have had John Rice Plumlee on, UCF quarterback, many times, and it's always been fun. We had you on at Big 12 Media Days. Javon Baker was on with us. everything you do, and that he likes to win everything he competes in,
Sure.
and so sometimes he's avoided you.
Well, sometimes we team up too. We've been known to play some 2v2 ping pong in the locker room, and I oftentimes find myself on a team with Javon, and we're usually running through the locker room, right, beating all those guys, and so again, ultra competitor, just like Javon is, and so when two guys like to win, we usually find each other.
So is that like you decide we got to make an alliance?
Sure,
because
that's
otherwise you're just gonna
100%
run each other to the ground.
We can make a two-headed monster here that we can really win with. So let's do it. And so Javon's a stud, and appreciate his kind words as well.
What is today like? What is this like to be able to show off your skills in front of a lot of people that are looking for talent?
Yeah, extremely fun, right? Extremely blessed to do it, too. It's kind of felt like a game day, right? Like you prepare, and then here comes the big day. It's showtime. Let's go. And so it kind of felt just like that. And so you get the game day adrenaline going again. And so really appreciate the opportunity the Big 12 put together for us to do this. Today was awesome. I feel like I made myself a pretty good day here. And so that's what I came to do. Came to raise some eyebrows, and hope we did that.
So what has this process been like for you so far, just navigating the workouts and I'm sure visits and just going through all this process? How much did you kind of know and what to expect beforehand, and what's the experience been like up to this point?
Yeah, been really, really good. Right, kind of taking it as it comes, right, learning as I go, and some guys that have really been a help is Jeff Christensen's my quarterback coach. I'm actually staying with him in one of his rooms and in his house, and we've been throwing every day, working out at Exos with Brent Calloway and Rock and all them, and they've done me a great job, and Dwayne and Gary and all those on the lifting side. So, right, you're still training to be big, fast, and strong, and then throwing with Jeff. And another guy that's been a really big key piece in this is actually Trey Lance. He trains with Jeff Christensen, and we've thrown every day together, and he has given me bits and nuggets of wisdom when he was coming through this, and it looks a little different because when he was coming through it, it was during COVID, so a little bit different, right? Little bit different dynamic, but have learned a lot from him already, and he's a really, really good dude and a great friend.
So you are not playing baseball this year, right?
Not this year, yeah.
Is that kind of – I know you have to focus on this process because it's such a different thing. But as a competitor and a guy who I know loves that game so much, is it kind of killing you?
Yeah, so there's a bittersweet to it for sure, right? You see your boys out playing. UCF's playing really good baseball right now. And so knowing that, like, hey, man, I could be out there with those guys, it kind of eats at you a little bit. But made the decision to follow my dream of playing in the NFL, and that's a big commitment, right? And so I went all in with it. And I hope it pays off. It's paying off right now, and so enjoying the process for sure.
Could you Bo Jackson this thing, Deion Sanders it?
Hey, there might be a play down the road. We'll see. We'll see, right?
Your versatility, how much does that play into perhaps your value as a quarterback, and the fact that you are a multi-sport athlete? Is that you could maybe even play other positions? Special teams, how much does that help you?
Yeah, I think if you call a guy an athlete, it's a compliment. It's always a compliment, right? And I've been hearing that about guys calling me an athlete, and so I'll take it every time. I'll take it and run with it. But at the end of the day, I think whatever gets you in the door gets you in the door. And then when opportunities arise, it's what you do with it, right? And I also have the confidence, the uber confidence in myself to believe that I could be one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the world, without a doubt. But again, it's about getting in the door first, right? And so if that means playing special teams, running down on a kickoff, let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Whatever it looks like to get in the door, and then when opportunity arises, you make the most of it. That's how it's been always going up through middle school to high school to college. I've always taken opportunities when they came my way.
So if I say athlete, that's not an insult, is it?
No, it's not a bash.
Because you're a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm a quarterback.
But I think
athletic.
But the flexibility of what you bring to the table can
John
also
Rice
be a
knows
strength.
who he is. He knows who he is.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
John Rice Plumlee with us, UCF quarterback with us at the Big 12 Pro Day in Frisco on 365 Sports.
What, look, not to knock your size, but they've supersized at quarterback this year with KJ Jefferson.
Yeah. He's a little bit bigger than I am.
Yeah. What do you think that's going to be like, him in Gus's system, knowing that, look, he's probably the closest physical comp to Cam Newton.
100%,
and
right?
that worked out pretty well for Gus.
It did, without a doubt. KJ's an awesome quarterback, awesome dude. Obviously, you can tell by his physique that he's a beast, right? Watched some of his film when he was in Arkansas, and he's a baller, right? We actually played in the same Mississippi-Alabama game coming out of high school. We graduated in 2019. We were roommates, played the Mississippi-Alabama game. We won that game, Mississippi. Let's go, sit, man. And then, obviously, I went to Ole Miss. He goes to Arkansas. We both now are going to be ending up at UCF. I think it's going to be a great spot for him, and I know Coach Malzahn's going to do great things with him.
What did you think of the first year in the Big 12? Like, just what was that like for UCF as a program for you, and just what do you learn from that, you think, as a program, and how do you feel about moving forward?
Yeah, I'm excited for UCF moving forward to the Big 12. First year, obviously, had some growing pains, especially when the injury bug bites you. It makes it tough. But hey, that's football, right? Everybody gets hurt. Everybody gets kind of banged up, and it's about what you do to continue going, right? And so we toughed it out. We played some tough games, right? Had some tough losses there at the end when it came down to it. Would love to get those back and win all of those, right? But hindsight's 20/20. Moving forward, I think they did a great job in the portal, getting pieces that we needed, and then obviously high school recruiting around Florida football is real deal, right? So if you can keep those kids at UCF, we're going to be in a good spot.
John Rice Plumlee, UCF, with us at Pro Day, Big 12 Pro Day in Frisco. This is 365 Sports. BYU tight end Isaac Rex with us on 365 Sports at Pro Days here in Frisco with the Big 12. And a viewer of our show.
I am a viewer. I'm a subscriber on YouTube. I check you guys out all the time, especially the conference realignment, whole fiasco back in the day.
Oh.
You guys were on top of it. Any rumor you guys heard, you guys were covering it. And so I loved watching it. It was awesome.
What was that like as a player going through the unknown or whatever the future was going to be?
Well, it was definitely interesting in terms of, 1 week you're in the Big 12, the next week Arizona's in the Big 12, and then Utah's in the Big 12, Arizona State, and then the whole Pac-12 is, going the Big 10, and now there's only 2 teams in the Pac-12. Just a crazy situation, but, I'm glad BYU found their home early because, man, you would not want to be stuck in that.
How exciting was it to be a part of that for BYU, like to be a part of that era? I know that this year was, a little bit rocky at times, but still, you guys, the momentum that you have as a university is pretty huge.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I think back in the day it was 2021 they announced it, and then that Saturday we beat Utah. So it was like the best weekend in BYU sports history, I feel like. We broke the streak, and then we also, got in the Big 12. So that was probably one of the best days in BYU history, probably, besides the national championship.
We know there's no love lost between the two programs, but how do you feel about being conference mates, BYU and Utah?
Oh, I think it's awesome. I mean, to be back in the conference with Utah is so cool, and then you have that rival up north that hopefully, you could be playing for something that means more than just, a game, but something that can lead to a conference championship, a Big 12 championship. And so, I think it's awesome that BYU has, a neighbor in Utah to be in the Big 12 with.
How rowdy is it in that game between the two fan bases?
I sadly only played in once. So I played in 2021, and it was at home, it was at BYU, and luckily we were on the winning side. But it's intense. I mean, everyone up north is big Utah fans. My in-laws are huge Utah fans, actually.
Oh, really?
So there's even family feuds that go on within BYU and Utah families. So it's a big deal over there.
That game with Baylor last year when you won it double overtime, I think it was. Everyone that went to that game in Provo came back. They could not discuss the atmosphere enough. Could you try to describe the atmosphere of a night game especially?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a night game, I feel like BYU has probably the biggest, maybe on the West Coast, home field advantage for those night games. Our student section is top-notch. The Rock, they go crazy. You've seen it probably 1,000 times of other teams getting false starts or, offsides because it's hard to hear. Like, you can't hear it when you're on the student section because they're so crazy, they're so wild. And, BYU's fans are amazing.
How's your health? How's everything coming in these workouts? I know you had to come over, get over some injuries. I watched you run the 40 earlier, doing some stretching exercise I don't think I've ever seen before, making sure you're ready to go. How did you feel everything went today?
It was good. I mean, I feel like I wish my times were a little bit better. A lot of the tight ends felt like, it was maybe a little slower than anticipated, but, that's just how it goes, and you can't dwell on it too much. And now it's time to, focus on football and get in good football shape. So
Has the NFL always been like the lifelong dream for you? Has that always been on the radar first and foremost, I guess?
Yeah, no, that's been probably my goal ever since I was a kid to, make an NFL roster, to contribute to the team. I feel like I'm a good enough player that I could come in and help a team, whether that's in blocking situations, special teams, or, on the offensive side of the ball. So, that's always been a dream of mine, and hopefully I can achieve that goal.
And your father was pretty good at BYU, huh?
He was good, man, All-American back in the day. And so he brainwashed me into going to BYU, and also my little brother. So my little brother's a safety right there, Preston.
And you have a son that's a year and a half? Or
a year old. A year old next week.
What's that like, juggling all of that?
Yeah, so it's his birthday next week, Luca, and he is a cute little kid. He's starting to walk, so I haven't seen him in probably 10 days because my wife went out to Provo, or she went out to Utah the other day, and so I'm excited, to see him again and hang out with him. Luca, yep.
Luca Doncic named, or is there a different?
I mean, it's a Hawaiian name actually. It's a name that's a lot of different nationalities have. Like it's Eastern European and it's actually Hawaiian for Luke, and so my grandma's Hawaiian, so I kind of keep that culture within our family. And Luca, he's the cutest little kid. So.
Isaac Rex, a tight end BYU, with us on 365 Sports. You speak fluent Samoan.
I do, yeah.
Is that something that kind of just came natural because of your lineage, or?
No, I served my mission in Samoa. So I was there for 2 years on a rural island, in the middle of the Pacific, and it was definitely a crazy experience, but it was a really cool experience too.
Well, it's beautiful out there.
It's really.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you're not just there on the beach. You're doing some work there, but how hard was it to pick up?
It took me about a year for sure. It's a different language in terms of it's pretty simple. English is so complex. Like there's so many different words. In the Samoan language, there's not a ton of words, but you could use it in different ways. So it was definitely hard to pick up, but it was a cool.
I was in Hawaii the last 2 years. I got engaged in Hawaii and on Kauai, and I got married on Oahu last year.
Yeah.
And the thing I thought was really cool about the culture is that they're so connected to their home. Like it's very unique, and not in a way like people from Texas are proud they're from Texas. People are proud, but like it's almost hard to explain, right?
Yeah.
About how connected they are to Hawaii or to Samoa or wherever they are from.
Yeah, I mean that's the homeland for them, and there's a ton of Polynesians on the team, and Polys are very family oriented in terms of the grandmas live in the house, the little kids in the house, like they're not kicking them out, sending them to old folks' homes. It's they're very family oriented.
What are your expectations over the next month between now and the draft, and then whatever happens after that?
Yeah, I feel like my expectations are, I want to just whatever team is willing to take a chance on me. I would love to, get that chance, and then it's straight football from there. So I'll be competing in OTAs and in rookie minicamp, and it's going to be definitely a grind, but a cool experience.
Everybody who we've had like a half a dozen players along with you, has tried to. They can't say enough about this experience with what the Big 12 has done, the Omni, the facilities, and the moment. How would you describe what this week has been like for you?
No, it's been really cool. I mean, to stay at such a nice hotel and to perform at a great stadium. I was here for the Shrine Bowl, and so I was able to get acquainted with Frisco a little. And Frisco's a great little town, and there's a lot of good food around, and it's like a lot of good things to see and go do. So yeah, I mean, like this experience has been great, and I can't thank the Big 12 enough.
Would you believe that 20 years ago there was nothing here?
Maybe not even that long
nothing.
ago. This was like
really?
one high school, now there's 12. There were no buildings. It was like a bunch of wheat fields or whatever, corn, and now you've got this like massive city pulling itself out of the dirt.
When I say nothing, this is where people ran from the law. I mean,
I didn't realize that. I mean, I'm not a Texas guy.
Yeah.
I don't really have any affiliation with Texas, but it's a great time. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to moving here one day.
We had Kalani Sitake on the show, in fact, yesterday. How would you discuss him as a coach, as a man, and what he's meant to the program as a former player himself?
Oh, I love Kalani. I mean, I don't think I don't think there's a better coach out there. He is a great head coach. He loves the players. He loves, the fans, the faculty. He's a great overall coach. And, I wish our season went a little bit better and he gets some hate maybe he doesn't deserve. But Kalani he's a top-notch guy, and he's a great leader for BYU.
Well, thank you for your time. Good luck, man.
No, thank you guys.
Thanks
Appreciate
for subscribing.
Yeah.
Isaac Rex, BYU tight end, and we're in Frisco, and this is 365 Sports. Jason Bean, Kansas, with us, a pro day in Frisco, home with the Cowboys. What's this been like, this experience, this unique type of event that they've put on now with the conference?
Yeah, it's been great. I really enjoyed myself today. There's a lot of scouts and teams out here. It was a great opportunity, go out there and perform. And, I'm happy with the performance. A little disappointed in the 40 time, but, overall happy with it.
What was your 40 time?
4.56.
Oh, I would. Listen, I would throw you off this.
What did you expect it to be?
At least a 4.41 at least. That's what I've been training at, and I was hopefully expecting to get a 4.3, but it is what it is. And, there's not too much I can do about it now. And like I said, the rest of the drills went good, and I'm happy with the performance in the other drills too.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
For sure.
So, Jason, how fun has it been at Kansas the last couple of years? The offense is fun. It seems like Coach Leipold has it going there. Football season is an event now, where before it wasn't. What's it been like just riding that wave?
Lawrence is booming right now. It's a fun place to be. Like you said, Coach Leipold has a place, jumping, and I think he's going to continue to, just elevate the program. The players are excited. The fans are excited, and it's a really good time to be in Lawrence right now.
Man, you were an incredible story. Just the way you stepped in when Jalen Daniels goes down. Now, I know you had plenty of experience prior to that. You're not far from here. You grew up in Mansfield, right? So you're not far from home, and found your way to Kansas and just thrown into action probably much more than you expected last season. Just how ready were you for that? Obviously pretty ready, but just what was that experience like to play as much as you did, and just what did you make of it all?
I definitely, going into the season wasn't expecting to play as much as I did, but I was definitely thankful for, how much I did play. I got a lot of good film out. I tried to help the team as much as I could. I think we had a pretty good season. I think we, left a couple games there on the table, and we, possibly could have got to the conference championship. But, like I said, we had a good season, and, the program is just continuing to elevate for sure.
I would say you're probably about as unselfish as most anybody, because you knew the situation, but when it was your time, it's like next man up or be ready. How difficult was that, or is that just something that you've always been able to do?
I say early on it's something that I kind of struggle with, but I learned, a good lesson in that, sitting there and sulking about, the position that I'm in is not going to do me any good or the team any good. And, I think, like I said, I learned from that mistake, and, I was wanted to try to elevate from that and, be a bigger person and a good teammate for my teammates and, try to be that leader on the team. And, I think it overall helped the team, but, it helped me as well. Jason
Bean, quarterback at Kansas, was at North Texas as well, right up, in fact, right here, basically, with us on 365 Sports.
So you and Jalen had this good core. All three of you guys. So it was a really good quarterback room. Yeah. What do you learn from each other, in that kind of a moment? Like Jalen's really, he was a really good leader. I'm sure that passed on down to you and everything. So what was it like being in that room with those guys?
Yeah, I think all three of us would just feed off of each other. We all play a little bit differently, and I think one thing I tried to do is implement some of the things that they were doing on the field into my game. I think that kind of helped me, my process is, bettering myself as a quarterback, just learning from guys, and I think that's going to help me at the next level too, just trying to nitpick from the guys, the veterans that are, what they're doing, and, try to implement it into my game and, try to make myself that much better.
Your OC, Andy Kotelnicki's moved on to another job, but can you just speak to the offense, the creativity, the fun of playing in the offense, and just how do you think that Kansas will continue to keep moving on with Coach Leipold and the changes made? Who one of the guys is we covered in Jeff Grimes, now the OC from Baylor, who we followed. But what do you expect now post Andy Kotelnicki?
I expect big numbers from the offense next year. They got a lot of guys coming back. A good receiving core. Obviously Jalen Daniels. You got the two running backs in Daniel Highshaw and Devin Neal. I think that offense, they're going to put up a lot of big numbers next year, and I think the offense it's going to be a little bit similar. They're going to try to do some of the same things, and I think it's going to help them a lot, and I think the players are excited about Grimes coming in, and I learned I got to talk to him a little bit before I got out of there, and he seems like a really nice guy, and I would have been excited to play for him, but I think he's gonna elevate the program well.
There was a week, and I don't know what year it was, but you won the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, the weekly award, for being, and again, it's a Texas-based player or somebody playing for a school in Texas. He's the one that compiles the stats for that award.
Oh, yeah?
His mother runs the award.
Okay,
So,
nice.
nice. So you can say thank you to him and vice versa.
Thanks. Yeah,
thank you for performing well.
Yeah, thank you.
You earned that, but
Yeah.
I just wanted you to, in case you did not know that.
I didn't.
A little
I didn't.
tidbit. You learned that a little bit today.
Nice. That's cool.
So what are your expectations? What do you think when you get your chance, whoever calls you, whether it's drafted or not, what are your expectations?
Just try to get in there and learn as much as I can. Try to show a team that I'm a consistent, developmental player, and I'm whatever they want me to do, I'm willing to do it. Whatever gets me on that 53-man roster is, that's my goal, and I'm looking to help any team any way I can.
Jason Bean, Kansas, here at 365 Sports and Big 12 Pro Days in Frisco. All Big 12, All American. Beanie Bishop, West Virginia cornerback, joins us on 365 Sports. Man, what a year!
Yes, sir.
What a year all that meant to you. And did it all just click? You've been good, but did it all just kind of click together? Why did you take it to the next level?
It was just one of those things. I had a year at Minnesota where I wasn't as productive and didn't get to play as much as I wanted to. So I kind of had a lot of built up and things that I learned that I wasn't able to use playing at Minnesota. So I took all of those things that I learned at Minnesota and from Western Kentucky and preparing and things like that, and using the resources that we have at West Virginia, and trusting the coaches, and the coaches trusted me, and they let me be myself. So that's like one of the biggest things. I was able to be myself and be free, and that led to a lot of production.
When we were at Big 12 Media Days, Coach Brown, there's no other word. He was pissed because they got the colors wrong on his backdrop. They picked you guys last. I say they. We as the media picked you guys last.
I didn't do that.
Picked you guys last, and he had a chip on his shoulder about it. Did that? That clearly carried over to you guys because you came out this year on a mission to show that you weren't what everybody thought you were. When did you feel that kind of start to carry over, that he was on a mission to prove everybody wrong about you guys?
I think like as soon as the rankings came out, we was watching it as a team in the dining hall, and we seen that, and we was like, we was taken back by that, and we felt we was disrespected. And a lot of guys on the team kind of overlooked myself. I would say for sure myself, I felt that I was overlooked, coming out of high school, and I always had that chip on my shoulder, so that just added a little extra motivation. And just seeing the coach pissed off made us more pissed off, and wanted to prove everybody wrong.
What was that like to get yourself into a bowl game, go win a bowl game, end on a hot note like that? Just how would you describe last season? How fun was it? And what was it like being with your teammates? All that good stuff.
It was great. I was around guys that I enjoyed having their company and things like that, and we all work together, party together and do things like that, go out, play bowling, and all of those kind of things. And it was just exciting. Seeing guys like we did everything together. It was like a real brotherhood. So, being able to go out and get wins, grind wins out at TCU, at Baylor, things like that. And, having those guys that you can trust, and, even guys, being in each other's weddings, pretty soon and things like that. And, it's just something that you really can't describe.
I thought that you mentioned Baylor. We're at that game, covering that game. They came back and they took the lead, and yet you guys didn't blink. Garrett Green and company went right back down the field. Was that kind of a great way to end it all as far as the season itself, the regular season?
Yes, sir. As far as the ending of the game goes, so not the special team so much.
Richard Reese took it to the house
twice. Yeah, back to back. I don't think the offense touched the field till almost the second quarter. So, but it was pretty exciting, especially win on a Hail Mary after losing to Houston on a Hail Mary, I know guys are probably going to be pissed that I said bring it up and, had Houston guys bring it up to us. So, I think it was a great way to show resiliency, especially, like I said, losing that Houston game the way we did. And for us to finish the season out, winning on the kind of like the Hail Mary last play type of deal, it was huge.
Who would because you've had to practice against them both. Now you don't get to hit Garrett Green in practice because he's the quarterback, but I'm sure you've taken a lick or two from C.J. Donaldson. So if you had to pick, trying to bring down the freight train that is C.J. Donaldson, or trying to break down and make sure you get a hold of Garrett Green, and he's so rascally.
Who I got to pick?
Yeah, you got to pick.
I want to, this is look so. I'm a DB. I want to get the running back first.
Yeah.
But, it's always good to – but that's my guy, obviously. But it's always good to, whenever you can, put a good lick on the quarterback.
Yeah.
So, they don't let you touch the quarterback.
He's a physical dude, too, though.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He'll drop the shoulder on guys, and he had me worried a few games and where I was like, man, you need to slide. But, he uses his legs a lot, and he's a great guy, and so is CJ.
So, Beanie, you didn't go to the NFL Combine, right?
No, sir.
Right. You got snubbed there. What kind of a motivation was that? And then to come out here today, what were you looking to prove? I know you had the fastest 40, 4.39. So I guess kind of a two-part. How much did that motivate you? And how much do you feel like you were able to put out some good stuff today?
I just added that to the list. Not getting a combine invite, it's another one of those things where, I was overlooked, especially how much production I had, the accolades that I racked up, and things like that. So, I kind of grew to feel kind of numb to those type of deals. I had more guys pissed off about it than I was, but, because I always look forward to the opportunities that I have. So today, this was my combine. So I decided that I needed to do, everything that I was training to do and, run fast. I know I'm fast, but, a lot of scouts didn't know I was fast, but just showing how efficient I am out of my breaks, running fast and things like that. So when I didn't get the combine invite, I was training head down. A lot of guys that I was training with, they left and went to the combine, and I was still working. So
then what did this event mean to you? Because this is unique. They've never done this. No one's ever done this where everyone was combined from one conference other than Texas and OU. To have this event, when you heard about it, what did it mean to you, and how has this been for you?
It's been great, especially for guys that, wouldn't have a lot of scouts at their schools. I think that everybody gets an equal opportunity for scouts to, to look at them and things like that and just see, okay, did we like this guy or who is him? Who is this guy? So I think it's a very good deal.
If somebody didn't have you on at least their list, they do now.
Yes, sir.
Because all 32 teams were here today.
Yes, sir.
All 32 teams were represented. Beanie Bishop, cornerback, West Virginia, All-American with us on 365 Sports.
Beanie, what was it? I mean, you were at a couple other places, but when you get to West Virginia and you guys win a game and it gets rowdy in Morgantown afterwards, they're burning couches, they're doing all that. What was that experience like, just seeing the unbridled joy that a football win brings to Morgantown?
With us being West Virginia, not having a pro football team or any pro sports teams, they shut the whole state down to watch us play, and people who drive from all over the state 4 or 5 hours and things like that, and it just means so much to the fans, the state, and whenever we get a win and be able to sing Country Roads, it's the best feeling ever.
Oh, it sounds so amazing. Do they still burn couches? I was told that they don't do that anymore.
Nah, I don't think I've seen any burn.
I think they got past that.
We have one in our studio we're trying to get rid of. And I'll just put it out in the air right now. If West Virginia fans would like to pay for the shipping, you can burn it as soon as it gets there when you guys win a game. So.
Yeah, it probably if they burn a couch, it'll be when they play Penn State at home.
Okay.
They win that game.
They could party that night.
Yeah, party hard.
What was the being part of the pit rivalry like?
It was great. I hate those guys.
How do you really feel?
No holds bars. I I don't respect those guys. I mean, I have a respect for them, but at the same time, you don't. So and the Coach Brown, he showed us the video of them walking us off the field. When the year before, so we watched that so many times. Watched it. So I kind of got that. Like, man, I hate these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, no way they're gonna walk us off the field and think it's okay. And I'm not gonna be able to get revenge. I wasn't able to help them the previous year, so. For me to be able to be in the rivalry, I wanted to do as much as I can for us to get the win and, be able to sing the song.
So this is your third school that you wrap up. We've asked this question. So you're going to be, let's say it's a Super Bowl, which would be great.
Yes, sir.
When they introduce you, which college do you say?
West Virginia.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, we've asked that because this is something we've also come to the conclusion, because the rules have changed, transfer portal, et cetera, is the average seems to be that by the end of a 4 or 5 year career, that a lot of players may have played in 2 or 3 schools. Mm-hmm. And so we're curious about which one you would use, or would you go back to your high school?
Yeah.
Say your high school.
Yeah, I would say West Virginia. And if it wasn't that, it would be West Kentucky. I just went to school at Minnesota.
Oh my God!
What did
we were there? We were there for the Super Bowl when it was there in February.
Yeah,
and we're from the South, so I'm not like, when I'm walking around, there were times I'd be at the hotel and they'd be like, "How can I help you?" I said, "I just want to know how you live here.
Yeah,
how do you do it?
Yeah.
Like, have you not gone insane?
Don't put your tongue on a railing.
Do you understand that? Like, I'm terrified to go out there, and I just have to go out. There's an Outback Steakhouse across the way. That's the only place I'm going. I'm terrified to walk 100 yards.
Yeah, you can't really drive out there. You hit a pothole, you might need a new set of tires. You might need a new car.
You might hit a pothole so deep you're part of that underground mission.
Yes, sir.
What did that freedom of movement allow for you, though, you think, as a player? Because, there's a lot of complaints, people that don't understand situations, but you might not be in this position if you hadn't have left and made the decisions you did. So just how valuable was that player freedom of movement that you guys didn't have for so long? I mean, so many decades that was not allowed. How important was that, do you think, in your career to have those options?
I think it was great, because a lot of guys, some guys use the portal for the right way, for the right reason. Myself, I didn't look for any NIL opportunities. I wasn't worried about that. I was more focused on getting the opportunity to, have the best year that I could, to potentially be, in the NFL the following year. So I think it helped me tremendously. I was able to learn when I went to Minnesota, and then use some of those things to take me on to West Virginia, which is the reason why I'm here now.
Would you recommend to guys, like, yes, look, you can talk about NIL when that comes, but find the place first, because most of the time you're going to get NIL, especially in your situation. You're talking about a year. Like, you have 1 year. Like, you knew that somebody was going to, all you had to do was ask and find out about that. But finding your best fit before you ask about the money is probably a better thing.
Yes, for sure. Because in the long term, for me at least, I was thinking NFL. Mm-hmm. I wasn't thinking about, this little bit amount of money, because you'll make more money, during the long run if you get to be able to go to the NFL. And a lot of guys don't think about that. They think about, I want to get this amount of money and go to this school, but that school doesn't do good. I'm not really playing as much. And, okay, now you stuck with this $100,000 and no opportunity to go to the next level. So it really doesn't equal out. You know what I'm saying?
Clip that.
All the stats that I saw from you, the one that I just saw pop up, you played at 95% of the snaps on defense.
Yes, sir.
So you didn't come off the field.
I came off the field once. Cincinnati player hit me below the belt. So.
You had to catch your breath.
Yeah, I'm gonna show y'all the clip. I got it pulled up on YouTube. Yeah. Do not stand by the pal. Do not stand by the
pal. Well, you survived it.
Yes, sir.
You survived it. Man, it's great to see you. Thank you for being here. The Big 12 obviously put on a hell of an event. It continues on Saturday. We've been here all morning long. You got one more to...
what's it like just being around these other players from around the league? Typically it's your pro day. Like, this obviously brings all the NFL teams together, whereas you might not get that at all 14 places. But what's it like to just be working alongside guys from BYU and Baylor and wherever else?
You just get to pick guys' brains about the game, and and see how guys work and see how guys look on a day-to-day basis kind of deal. Like seeing how guys go through their drill, what's their thought process through doing the 40s, like little techniques and ways to get really get better. Because some of these guys are are guys that play at a really, really high level and will be able to play in the NFL potentially. So just being able to understand, okay, just ways that guys break down film, different things, even about outside of football, like things that they do to manage stress and, relax their mind.
By the way, one of our listeners, we have some West Virginia that watched this show on YouTube, and he said, tell Beanie he's a legend. Appreciate everything that you did while you were at West Virginia.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. It was fun being a Mountaineer for the 7 months that I was there. And I always come back. It feels like home.
Yeah. They said you're a Mountaineer for life.
Yes, sir, for sure.
And it's Michael DeHart. He asked specifically when I said yesterday, like, hey, we're going to get some guys, anybody you want us to look for specifically. He was the first person. He said Beanie Bishop.
Yes, sir,
that's what he said.
I love those guys out there. The only time that I ever get recognized in the grocery store is in West Virginia.
Hey, good luck. What's next? You going to be here for the rest of the weekend, or are you going to start doing some of those visits, those 30 visits, whatever?
I'm going to go back to West Virginia and do more training and stuff like that, and, go to different I got something lined up with the Commanders on the 9th, so, potentially the Steelers, whatever comes up.
All Commanders fans right
Washington
here.
fans
all
right
Commanders
here,
fans.
all three of us.
Yes,
yeah.
We'll give the vote of confidence.
We really want good players to go there. They need good players.
Yes, sir.
They also need good players here. This is this is where this is my this.
Do you have an NFL team that's your favorite team?
No, sir.
No.
Whichever team picks me up.
Smart answer.
Yeah. All right, man. What a great personality. Appreciate getting to know you. Congratulations on the 40 and for what you did last year with West Virginia. Beanie Bishop, All-American cornerback on 365 Sports in Frisco. When we come back, Paul Catalina and the top 5, and this is 365 Sports. On April 8th between 11 and 3 at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lakeshore Drive in Waco, Far Out Solar Eclipse Day. Central Texas is one of the places where you have an unobstructed view of the solar eclipse. April the 8th, 11 to 3, Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness. Members and guests enjoy special open play for tennis and pickleball. $5 guest fee instead of what normally is $10 throughout the day, including enjoying group exercise classes, weight room, which is spectacular, tennis and pickleball courts, and complimentary solar eclipse eyewear. Local True Jamaican food truck available 11 to 2. Live band on the patio. Outside on the concourse in the back with Jay Smith and the Wesson from 12 to 2. Take advantage of the unobstructed view from the stadium court at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness. Beer and wine available for sale. Family, friendly, and fun. The Far Out Solar Eclipse Day, April the 8th, 11 to 3. Specials for both members and guests at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lakeshore Drive in Waco.
Rev up your excitement. Celebrate the spirit of adventure during the Jeep Celebration event. Join us at Allen Samuels in Waco as we roll out incredible deals on rugged and reliable Jeep vehicles you love. Seize the moment and drive home in the new Jeep of your dreams. With special financing options and exclusive offers, there has never been a better time to explore the world of Jeep. Hurry in, the savings won't last long. Visit AllenSamuelsDCJ.com and see them firsthand only at Allen Samuels in Waco. Let your adventure begin.
Come by. Let's be friends. At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
You want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
It's time for Paul Catalina's Top 5, brought to you by Texas Beef House. Where's the best beef in Texas? Your house when you order from Texas Beef House. Unleash the flavor of Texas-raised Wagyu. From our pasture to your plate, TexasBeefHouse.com.
Welcome back, 365 Sports. Smokey and Craig are not here today because they had to go to Jennifer's wedding shower. If you watched the end of the show yesterday, we had a cameo appearance from Daniel, who is the lucky man who is marrying Jennifer. And Jennifer is also very lucky to be marrying Daniel. Let me just tell you that right now. I've known Daniel for a long time now. They've been together, honestly, this feels like 3 years overdue, but he's a great guy. Honestly, awesome guy.
He's cool.
He's one of those things, the first impression you're going to make of Daniel is this is a guy you got to hang out with.
Yes.
So they have the wedding shower this weekend, which Garrett, I know you didn't have one because you guys got married very young and at the courthouse.
This thing's different.
You did it simple. You did it simple, which most people are probably a little bit jealous of.
Dude, it's over. It's underrated. It's underappreciated. Just go, get it out of the way, save your money, do your thing. Yeah.
So, but knowing where he's been, Amanda's shower is in Nashville. It was all girls except for Rami, her brother lives there, so we had to come by and see everybody. And then Imad, her dad, it was at his house. Yeah. So, he had no choice. But this is a different one. So some people do it everybody together. I'll tell a funny story before we go here, and I hope everybody has a great Easter weekend. But my friend Matt got married, and it was the shower was this same exact weekend during the NCAA tournament. And it was one of those things. And so we were at the bar the night before, and it was the night before that Baylor played Duke and Houston in the Elite Eight.
So
all of our other friends that were in the media were already there, all of our friends. And then he's sitting there and he's like, man, I'm just glad that you're going to be there. And I was like, I'm going. Because a Baylor guy, he wanted to go more than anything, and be there. And I was like, yeah, I'm going. I had to work on Saturday and then I didn't on Sunday. So I called Baylor and was like, hey, can you give me a credential? I didn't apply for one. They're like, yeah, no problem.
We got you.
Come on down. And so I always think of that this weekend. And Daniel, at least he's not missing the opportunity to go watch his alma mater in the NCAA tournament. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great Easter weekend. I hope you enjoyed all of our coverage from Big 12 Pro Day. It was really fun. Please go back and watch Brett Yormark again. Really, you guys, if you've not seen it, you're going to love it. It's really, really informative. He was, again, we're going to get him a max of 3 times a year.
Yep.
We'll get him again probably at media days. We'll get him, and we'll probably have another rando time that pops in there. But other than that, it's not going to be, all the time. So I think we really made it count. I think he made it count.
Yes,
he always does. So it was really interesting to hear that. And especially now with so much this in college athletics. To hear it from an actual commissioner is always a great chance to get. I wish we could talk to all of them, even though it would be super awkward between me and Prime Minister Sankey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been throwing some, and probably I'm not going to give him that title, Jim Phillips as well. I personally have been throwing darts.
I think that one might be worse. You and Jim Phillips in the same room.
Well, here's the thing. I'm just like, I understand he's playing the hand he was dealt.
Correct.
By the previous administration. And I'm not so mad about I'm not blaming the conference potentially breaking up on him, because that's totally not his fault.
Yeah, he didn't sign that deal.
That's totally not his fault. I am upset about, doing like one Zoom while Greg Sankey's out all over the place going like, oh, one of these things is not like the other. So.
Lessons learned.
Yeah, lessons learned. Lessons learned. All right, well, Garrett, have a great Easter weekend. I hope everybody else has a great Easter weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Lots more stuff. We'll have a Final Four by then. It's going to be a wild weekend in sports. Again, I hope you enjoyed our stuff from Pro Day. Please, look, I know we ask you to like and subscribe all the time. Please do that. Also, you know what would be awesome? If you're a social media person, share some of this stuff. We would appreciate that as well. That certainly helps us out. Just getting out in the world, share it on your social media. Share it with your friends. Send it to hey, I know you like sports. If you're not watching 365 Sports, don't be a nerd. No, that's a terrible way to say it. I've unabashedly, what you saw in the Ryan Montgomery interview, he said he likes podcasts. I put us at number 4.
And he brought his phone over.
He came
brought his
over.
phone.
You subbed for him.
I helped him out.
Yeah, you helped him out. So there we go. If you come up to me and say, what's a podcast I can listen to, I'm going to give you ours, the ones that we have, and then I'm going to I'll throw one in oh, do you listen to this guy? Here too. That's what we're going to do. But please, share it around with your friends. We appreciate it. Have a blessed and wonderful Easter weekend. Good night, everybody.